the offensive line. So that's one of the things we wanted to watch, Corey, coming into this game. The quarterback and the offensive line were two question marks, so to speak, two positions where you got new guys filling roles. How are they going to adjust? How are they going to work together? And so far, I think the early results are fairly good.
No question. The offensive line, I hesitate to say young because there are 4 seniors up front and a junior, but they're definitely lacking a little bit of experience just because of all of the linemen that were lost to graduation last year. Very capable unit, I think. It's interesting. Tommy Whitty is one that really interests me. A year ago, Tommy Whitty was a 6'2", 195 free safety and quarterback.
Yeah.
This year he's 6'3", 220 at offensive tackle. So he has transformed his body in the offseason. In fact, saw him at Saturday night mass a couple weeks ago at St. Vincent, and I barely recognized him. He has put some weight on. Looks great.
So we'll come out of timeout here. Again, game reset, 8:11 on the clock here in the first quarter, and it's scoreless between the Bishop Dwenger Saints and the Wayne Generals. We're going to be set up with a 4th and 1 situation. It's going to be KJ taking it straight into the pile, and it looks like he's got the first down at the 1-yard line.
Really close. Really close. They get it. They're going to measure, I think.
Yeah, waiting for the official signal here.
Yeah, they're going to measure.
They are going to measure. Well, that takes us a chance to welcome everyone to the broadcast. We apologize for the technical difficulties at the beginning, but welcome into Wayne Stadium. This is Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions as the Saints kick off their 2021 high school football season by visiting the Wayne Generals. Eric Pete here alongside Corey Kitchen. And Corey, let's just start by saying it is an extreme honor to be broadcasting Bishop Dwenger football here through BD Media Productions.
No doubt about it, Eric. Obviously, we've had quite a run on Redeemer Radio for many years,
Yes.
but happy to be continuing on the legacy, so to speak, here on BDHS Media Productions.
Absolutely. Just want to thank all the people at Redeemer Radio that built that model for success. We'll mention some of those names in a moment, but we should let you know.
They sort of nosedived in there trying to pick up that first down and didn't quite get it. So we're going to get a chance to see the Dwenger D for the first time this season.
Well, this is the situation that a defense licks their chops for, right? Sean Collins met in the backfield. I believe that's going to be a safety, and it is.
Yes, it is. How about a first play for the defense? That's a tough act to follow right out of the gate there, Eric.
Wow. 2 points on the board.
Wow.
Via the Saints defense on a safety. Sean Collins, 3rd year as a starting running back for the Generals, but he had nowhere to go, and the Saints defense scores before the offense this season.
I was just going to say that I smell a future trivia question for one Eric Pete.
Yeah, what season did the Saints score on defense first?
Oh, fantastic. A lot of penetration up front. They knew number 5 was probably getting the football. Sean Collins is Mr. Everything for the Wayne Generals. Coach Haydock from Wayne says that he is a legit 4.4 40 guy. And so they obviously are going to try to get him the ball early and often. And on that one, the Saints were ready for it.
Absolutely. Well, folks, this gives us a chance to thank our scoreboard sponsor for the night, St. Anne Communities. St. Anne's offers rehab, a nursing facility, memory care, as well as assisted and residential living, and is the only senior living community in Fort Wayne that offers daily mass and sacraments. St. Anne's is proud to support the Saints and the many Fighting Irish from Central Catholic that reside at their facility. We thank St. Anne's and all of our sponsors this year as we shift exclusively to BD Media Productions. Again, just a big thanks to Redeemer Radio. They built this model. Got that core group of Sean McBride, Nick Gray, Joe Wharton, Mark Watts, and of course the godfather of football, Dave X. And also thanking the station management over the years, Dave Stevens, Cindy Black, guys like Doug Jones and everyone else that we failed to mention. We would not be here today without the groundwork they laid. And Corey, I think I speak for all of us. We're thankful for the chance that they gave us to bring Catholic high school sports to Fort Wayne listeners for so many years.
No doubt about it. Tremendous honor then to carry it on here, and kind of Sean McBride has come with us on to BDHS Media. He's on the DL tonight, but we hope to have him back next week.
Absolutely. Here's the kickoff. It is punted away, fielded at the 36-yard line by Henry O'Keefe, and he goes straight up through the middle, following blockers, and then is met and swallowed up by a host of red jerseys at the 45-yard line.
You know, every year when we start a season in particular, it always seems that the Saints have a big advantage in the kicking game.
Right.
And I think this year is very similar. Of course, special teams coordinator Todd Ellinger does such a good job with the Saints special teams, and that was just another view of it.
Yeah, and we have not even got to call Joe Belanda or Simon Garrett, two of the best in the business when it comes to punting and place kicking. So the Saints start on the general side of the field at the 45-yard line, and Springer's going to zing a pass to the man out of the backfield, and that is Gavin Groves. No, that is
Teddy Steele.
Teddy Steele.
Teddy Steele on a little swing pass, and the Saints are going to go fast again with their no-huddle package here.
They'll go down for a loss of 1. So Springer gets the instructions from the sideline. He's going to have 2 receivers out to the right side, 1 to the left, and a man in the backfield alongside as he stands in the shotgun. Now man in motion, movement before the snap.
They're going to call that on the defense again.
Yeah, jumped across the line a little bit early there.
I think they saw the motion man and snapped a little early on the defensive side of the ball there.
Yeah, the motion man Carter Minix, who is getting a start as a sophomore. We're excited to see him and the skill set he brings to the table.
For sure. It opens up so many things for the Saints, allows Sam Campbell to play more defense.
Right.
His emergence is big for this offensive unit.
A unit that already boasts returners like Rocco Sioka, Henry O'Keefe, Jack Titman at tight end, and of course the aforementioned Campbell, and KJ out of the backfield, known to catch a few balls as well.
No question. Saints doing a good job here of, they changed their mind, it looks like, on the offsides. Now they're calling a procedure on the Saints, it appears. Or are they? They've gone
so
back
far they walked the penalty yardage back.
Okay, so what are we doing?
But they have not reassessed anything yet.
Oh,
and it is false start.
So they're going to go another 5, or this is back where they started.
Right.
They've got 5 more to go, I believe. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
First game for the officials as well.
I think we're all afforded a little bit of a mulligan to start the season, right?
That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah. Wayne General's offense would like one.
Yeah, no question about that.
All right, 2nd and 15 now. Springer zings it across the middle. Sioka catches it at the 45 and marked that at the 48 instead.
Picked up a quick 5. I think if Mr. Springer would have had his eyes on that seam route, he'd have had Minix for a bigger gain, but, no complaints about a completion.
So Springer won a quarterback competition this fall between Bodie Dickerson, the fellow junior, or Springer's a senior rather, Sam Campbell, the junior, and Colin Vance, and more early movement by Wayne.
Yeah, 4-way battle. I think, Colin Vance obviously starts at free safety for the Saints on defense. Sam Campbell is starting at one of the corner positions on defense and is obviously a very good receiver for them as well. I think Evan Springer winning the job affords the Saints more position flexibility, no doubt about it.
Yep, able to maximize the talents of some of these other players. So 3rd and 8 after that penalty yardage. And Springer in trouble, able to elude it, just does get rid of the ball. He's got a man open across the 30, 25, and inside the 25-yard line. And a nice-looking reception there by Stellan Rustin.
Really nice job by no panic from Evan Springer. He was able to avoid the pass rush and didn't panic, found his check down to Stellan Rustin and picked up a first down. Excellent job and a lot of moxie right there. Yeah,
a lot of quarterbacks that first sign of trouble, when they get contact, they go down. Springer kept his eyes and his balance. More pressure this time. It is picked up, and this time he is unable to elude the pressure. He's going to go down at the 30-yard line for a loss of 7.
Wayne Generals brought Jordan Donahue off the edge again untouched, and obviously a little breakdown in the pass protection there from that young Saints unit.
2nd and 17 as we tick down inside 6 minutes here in the first quarter. 2-0 your score. Saints on top. That is not a score that we get to call very often in football games. Might as well milk it for all it's worth. Saints are going to come out in trips. 3 receivers out to the near side of the field. As Springer overlooks the defense, looks in that direction, fires. It is caught by Sioka, who cuts back inside, looking for a few blocks, and falls forward down to the 20-yard line.
Get about half of their yardage back approximately on just a kind of a quick hitch outside that Rocco Sioka turns upfield and picks up a few more. So gives them a 3rd manageable here.
And boy, Corey, you mentioned it earlier, but the run-pass disparity here is kind of shocking for a Bishop Dwenger fan.
They've been behind the chains a lot so far due to some penalties and sacks and so forth. So they've had to come out firing in the air a little bit.
And Springer has been up for it. Here we go on 3rd down. He's got some time, fires it down to the far sideline, looking for Henry O'Keefe, but fires it over his head out of bounds.
Yep, just a little bit too far for Henry. Had Henry open, I think, but that's a tough throw. It's a tough angle, kind of an over-the-shoulder throw, and looks like we're going to get a chance to see the aforementioned Joe Belanda.
Belanda, the senior, one of those 3-year starters for the Saints. And they're going to line this one up at the 26-yard line, so a 36-yard field goal well within his range. We've seen him knock in 40-plus yarders.
Not much wind tonight, so that shouldn't be a factor.
Here is the snap. The kick is up. It is long enough. It is no good.
Wide left.
Wide left. And it looked like the Saints just tried to get that snap down off the turf, and Belanda unable to convert. So we will step aside here. You're listening to Bishop Dwenger Football on BD Media Productions. Back at Wayne Stadium, a 1st down run for the Generals. And that is Lamarion Nelson, the first time we've called his name, the number 2 running back behind Sean Collins.
Yeah, I'd call him sort of the Thunder to the Sean Collins Lightning for their backfield.
Right.
Collins is more of a power, bruising, 220-pound back, and gives him a chance to move Collins into the slot and some other areas formationally for their offense, try to get spread the ball around to him a little bit.
Yep. And the Generals will take a timeout here, facing a 2nd and 10. We'll keep it right here. And as we look at this game and this season, Corey, the SAC, we talked before this broadcast, there's a lot of uncertainty about the favorites, who's coming back, who's going to be jostling for position. You've got the normal heavyweights up on top with, Dwenger, Snyder, Carroll, Homestead. But to you, there's a clear-cut favorite.
Yeah, I think Snyder's the clear-cut favorite on paper out of the gate here. They've got a lot back. They are enormous up front, led by Damon Moore, the IU commit, as their primary offensive lineman. He's just an absolute beast up front for them. So they got a quarterback back for a 2nd year of starting, and they got a great running back. I mean, I could go on and on.
Yeah.
I really do think Snyder's a clear-cut favorite, but that's why they play the games. Carroll's got a lot back. They've got probably the best quarterback in the conference in Jeff Becker, a commit South Dakota State FCS. So it'll be heavily contested. There's no doubt.
2nd down, Meek with a handoff, and this time Collins able to find some greenery and cuts it back up through the middle up to the 32-yard line, and that's a Wayne 1st down.
Sean Collins doesn't need much of a crease. He's going to turn it up, and a lot of speed out of number 5 for the Wayne Generals, and picks up their first down of the season.
Collins last year, 92 rushes, 722 yards, averaged over 7 yards a carry for a team that went 2-9. So one of the bright spots for sure. Another tight formation for the Generals here on 1st and 10. Meek under center, and it'll be a reverse handoff this time. Collins tries the right side and gets strung out, this time for a loss.
Gavin Groves in there on the tackle. Now, we called his name more than any other player on the Saints defense last year. Believe it or not, with all of those senior starters that were lost, Gavin Groves led the team in tackles from his strong safety position. Now, he has bounced down to outside linebacker this year, and they're expecting a lot from him on defense, are the Saints.
69 tackles, 22 pass breakups last year. And with guys like John Michael Fabini and Devin Tittman lost to graduation, we'll only be hearing more and more of his name. Here's another handoff and another cutback for Sean Collins. Gets back the loss and then some. Or was that Nelson on the carry?
No, that was Collins. They're running a really nice trap play, an outside trap play, kicking out the defensive end, and Collins is cutting up inside, and it's given the Saints defense some fits so far.
So a 3rd and 5 awaiting the Wayne Generals. 2:42 to go in the opening quarter. Saints on top 2-0. We'll see if Meek goes to the air here. Nope, another inside handoff, and this one is going nowhere. Pile of gold helmets meet him at the line and drive him backwards. Gavin Groves was in there as well.
Yeah, another Sean Collins run for nothing in that particular instance on 3rd down. Going to bring up a 4th and 5, and I would assume Coach Haydock will send in the punt unit.
Yeah.
So defense does their job.
Defense off to a good start. It will be Meek back to punt this one. He is doubling as the punter. Going to step up to the line to get a look there, and back deep to receive for the Saints. It'll be Henry O'Keefe. And he's flanked out there by his teammates trying to get a number there.
I think that's Sam Campbell. Yep, absolutely.
So 2 of the fastest and shiftiest Saints set to return this one.
Is that the quarterback punting?
Oh, it is. Gavin Groves uncharacteristically jumped across the line early, and that penalty yardage may give the Generals a 1st down.
I think Coach Haydock sends the offensive unit back in. If it's not a 1st down, it's real close. But, yep, they're moving the chains. That's an uncharacteristic special teams mistake for the Saints. Don't do that very often.
Right. So a free 1st down, courtesy of a offsides penalty.
Let's talk about the Saints defense a little bit, Eric. We mentioned replacing all 4 linebackers, 2 of which played in the North-South All-Star game last year, and Fabini and Devin Tittman. Devin, I think, was the best middle linebacker in the state. I'm a little biased, but I wouldn't have traded him for anybody anywhere, and those are big shoes to fill.
Right. 1st and 10 for Wayne. Another inside handoff, and this time gets a good strong push forward up to the 45-yard line. And that was Collins again.
I think that was Lamarion Nelson.
You know what, Corey?
Now, I will give you a bit of a break. These Wayne uniforms, if you can see them on, if they're as difficult to see in our live stream as we're having the difficulty up here in the stands, red with light blue numbers, and it's tough to tell who's who.
Yeah. Ticking inside a minute to go in this opening quarter. And a 2nd and 4 for the Generals. Looks like an equipment adjustment here being made by the referee as Meek gets his players lined up. And now a timeout taken by Wayne with 25 seconds left in the 1st quarter.
Coach Haydock wants to talk a little further.
Yep. Well, this gives us a chance to thank our 1st quarter sponsor. Tonight's 1st quarter is brought to you by Illumination Solutions Incorporated, a locally owned family business that creates exterior lighting upgrades for homes and businesses throughout Northeast Indiana and Northwest Ohio. Learn more about this proud Dwenger family-run business by visiting their website, www.illuminationsolutions.com.
Well, defensively, we talked about the linebackers a little bit. What they've done personnel-wise, they've taken Adam Lee, who played corner a year ago, bumped him back to strong safety where Groves played a year ago, moved Groves down to outside linebacker. Sam Campbell has been playing one corner, and they have a new corner, number 20. Noah Johnson is getting his first varsity start at cornerback for the Saints. So some new faces in there and getting their first varsity action.
Here we go, 2nd and 4 with 25 seconds left on the first quarter clock. It's a fumble, and it looks like the Saints fell on it. Mishandled snap.
I think that's Ethan Pfluger, number 64.
I think you're right.
For the Saints, was able to jump on that football and get the ball back for the offense. Well done.
Big play by the junior, 5'10", 202, got his mitts on the football, and the Saints take over with 19 seconds in the opening stanza. So far, the Saints defense in the first quarter has registered a safety and a turnover.
Turnovers are key, particularly in first games of the season. You never know exactly what you have, but you certainly don't want to turn it over to the other team and make it easy for them.
Right. Springer in the shotgun here. It's going to be a pitch, right side, and a lot of speed in front of him. It's going to be up across the 30-yard line, and that was Teddy Steele on the carry.
You mentioned speed. I've heard multiple folks on the coaching staff mention that this is the most team speed they've had in the 4 years of Coach Garrett's program. So interesting that they would say that. I thought they were pretty quick a couple of years ago with Eifert and Finley and those guys, but they claim this is their fastest team.
Well, don't challenge Henry O'Keefe to a foot race. I'll just tell you that much. That's going to take us down to the end of the first quarter. Your score after one, Bishop Dwenger 2 and Wayne 0. We'll step aside. You're listening to Bishop Dwenger Football on BD Media Productions.
St. Anne Communities is a senior living community including a rehabilitation center, memory and dementia care, assisted and residential living, as well as a nursing facility that served the community for over 54 years. While offering a Christ-centered environment that is the only place in Fort Wayne that offers daily mass and sacraments. For more information on employment, senior living, or to make a gift to support the first floor renovation campaign, please visit us at our website or give us a call.
You know, there's three kinds of people in this world: those that get the numbers and those that don't. If you need professional help when it comes to the numbers, whether it's payroll, accounting, or professional or personal taxes, come see the experts at Management and Tax Services. Proud to be Dwenger supporters for over 60 years.
Set to begin between the Bishop Dwenger Saints and the Wayne Generals. The Saints have the ball, and it's going to be at the Wayne 29-yard line. Shadows have crept all the way across the field now, and the sun now only in our eyes, Corey.
I was just going to say.
Players don't have to worry about it any longer.
That's good news.
Springer is going to take it to KJ Tippmann straight through the middle, and he follows a nice hole up to the 23-yard line, gain of 6 yards on first down.
That's the old school Dwenger offense we're
you
used to. A little isolation play right up the middle behind that H-back. Love to see that, and so does KJ to the extent of about 6 or 7 yards.
I think KJ is one of the better power backs in the SAC this year. Here's going to take another handoff through the middle once again and pulling defenders down to the 16-yard line. That's good for a Saints first down.
Worked so well on the last play, they'll run it again. The same isolation play. He cuts off left a little bit there, but picks up the first down, and the Saints are back up and on the line of scrimmage. I like the no huddle.
Yep.
Puts a lot of pressure on the defense. You can see them shifting around, and particularly first game of the year, a lot of pressure on the defense.
Here is Springer, takes the snap, fakes the handoff to KJ, looking deep. He's going to check it down, and it is caught at the 14-yard line.
That's 44. Sam Trebleware, first catch of the season for Sam. Nice job on a little flat route there. Picks up just a couple of yards.
Yep, called a gain of 2. 2nd and 8 for the Saints.
Just made a couple of really nice blocks on their ISO play ahead of KJ, so they threw him a bone there with the out route.
Yeah. Early movement again that time. Looked like Wayne jumped. Did they cross the line?
I believe so.
It is. That's, first game jitters. The Generals still getting that out of their system. That's at least the 3rd offsides penalty called on them tonight. So the Saints on offense looking to find the end zone for the first time tonight. KJ is going to take it all the way around the left sideline, steps out of bounds, I believe just short of the marker.
Down to about the 7. The Saints offensive line lines up from left to right. Tommy Whitty at left tackle, Ashton Scary at left guard, Joe Eddy at center, Benji Tittman right guard, and Isaac Lehrman is the right tackle. New faces up front, but doing a nice job so far.
Yep. Making some nice holes, and yet again, early movement for the Generals as they have gifted the Saints a lot of penalty yardage on this drive alone.
And a first down there.
Yep.
So first and goal from inside the 5.
Saints on their first 2 offensive possessions, they stalled out to the 1-yard line and then missed a field goal. Trying to punch this one in. Springer's going to be under center. Single back behind him is KJ Tittman. Tittman gets the ball, inside carry, pushes his way across the line for the first Saints score of the season.
Great push by the left side of that offensive line on that isolation play. It was a big play a few plays ago, and KJ Tittman's able to take it in for a touchdown here.
Corey, if I told you that the Saints' first touchdown of the year would be a running play by Tittman, would you be surprised?
No, I think that you probably could have won a lot of money with that. Probably wouldn't have got high odds,
right,
but you probably could have won some money.
Bet $100 to get 101.
Yeah, that might have been the case on that particular instance, but good to see. Well done on the offensive series. Belanda now to tack on another, and they blow it dead.
And they're having a word with the holder there. Actually, he's going to come out and be replaced. Max Robinson to the sideline. It looks like Bodie Dickerson will instead be inserted. Not sure the reasoning yet.
I think they're maybe an equipment issue of some sort. I don't know.
Yeah, not sure why else they would make the holder come out. And here we get
Bodie.
That. Yep.
Bodie lined up on the wrong side to begin with, so he hasn't done this much, obviously.
Dickerson gets the hold down.
No problem.
Belanda puts it through. That makes your score 9-0. The Bishop Dwenger Saints on top of the Wayne Generals. We'll step aside. You're listening to Bishop Dwenger Football on BD Media Productions. Football. Corey, I tell you what, we've broadcasted games outside before in freezing weather, in the snow. I'm not going to complain about having to broadcast outside tonight.
I'm sweating a little, Eric.
Well, there's that, but
otherwise,
I'd still take it over the postseason outdoor broadcast.
But I'm a chronic whiner, so that's beside the point. But nonetheless, it is. Lures. We just got a Lures Carroll score. Lures 16, Carroll 10 out at the new Charger Stadium.
State-of-the-art facility.
Yep.
And hosting the Saints.
That's probably like
the
5 minutes into the game, I'll
Yeah.
bet. I mean, I expect that one to be 65-64, something in that ballpark.
Yeah, the two most accomplished quarterbacks in the SAC returning
Without a lot of defense being played.
are the Wayne Generals.
Didn't get a number on that returner, but
And you may not.
no, I may not. Trying, but no luck there. But nonetheless, not what they were looking for. It's pretty rare to reverse field in high school football and get away with it.
Right.
And he was unable to do so there. Good job by the Dwenger special teams, and sets up the defense again deep in Wayne's end.
Yep. Inside the 10-yard line. Generals will start at the 8. And once again, the Saints defense getting ready to make an impact. 9-0 your score. Saints on top, 10:04 to go in the second quarter. Meeks under center, power formation. And that's going to be a nice spin move there, and
Number
trying
9.
to power his way up to the 10-yard line.
That's Lamarian Nelson again. And he's their power back. Nice little spin move there. But just picked up a few.
Yeah. I mean, he had to exert a lot of effort to gain 3 yards. Have yet to see Meek go to the air.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't
Yeah.
it? Now, I will say 25 is manning the middle of that Saints defense again. It's just this year it's Mitchell Vogelweed.
Yeah.
So Mitch changed numbers. He thought 25's been pretty successful lately.
Yeah.
So I'll take that one.
A big hit that time.
47 on the big hit. That's Ben Simcox. Outstanding job from his middle linebacker spot. He's in there with Mitch Vogelweed. Those are the two middle backers, and he came up and laid a stick.
Well, we talked about this pre-game, Corey. Those are some names that have had a lot of experience here at Dwenger, not necessarily starting games, but they have played a lot of snaps, and it shows. You insert them into the starting lineup, and they have an immediate impact.
Yeah, that's the benefit of the Saints having a lot of leads over the last couple of years, is they're able to get a lot of players in the game. Speaking of a lot of players, the original roster we received had 116 players on it, grades 10 through 12. I'm told it's 156, 157 for an all-time record, 9 through 12 for the Saints football programs, which is just remarkable.
So it is a third down for the Generals. Ball at their own 10-yard line. 8 yards to go. Meek looks to put this one in the air for the first time. Chucks it deep downfield. He's got a man open, but there's the recovery. And Sam Campbell there to defend the pass as it falls incomplete.
Yeah, did a really nice job. I actually think Aiden Meek, Wayne quarterback, waited a little too long to throw that, allowed the defense to catch back up to it. But there is a penalty flag.
There is.
Middle of the field.
Illegal man downfield by Wayne.
Yeah, as long as that play took, that's not surprising. He waited just too long to put that one up in the air.
It allowed Campbell to make up that ground. The receiver did have a step on him initially, but ball floated a bit and it was incomplete. So Dwenger will decline the penalty, and it'll be a 4th and 8 punting situation for Wayne. Meek stands 2 yards deep into his own end zone to boot this one away as O'Keefe and Campbell await the punt.
Interesting decision by special teams here. Do you go after this one in the end zone or be happy with probably getting the ball inside the Wayne territory to begin with? They went after it.
Blocked and recovered in the end zone for a Saints touchdown.
37, that's Luke Shuckle on the recovery. Outstanding job by that Saints special teams. We talked about it a few minutes ago.
Yep.
They first out of the gate, normally the Saints are very good on special teams. They have a lot of attention to detail under Todd Ellinger, and you saw it right there. Other schools oftentimes don't come into the first game with that kind of attention to detail.
Wow. So 6 more points onto the board for the Saints. And so far, how about this, Corey? We are couple minutes into the second quarter of game 1, all 3 phases of the game have scored. All 3 units have put points on the board.
Wow.
Offense, defense, special teams. That's how you win football games right there. Here is Belanda to boot this one through, and he does just that. And just like that, it's 16-0 with 8:24 in this second quarter. We'll take a timeout. You're listening to Bishop Dwenger Football on BD Media Productions.
And watching.
You know, there's 3 kinds of people in this world. Those that get the numbers and those that don't. If you need professional help when it comes to the numbers, whether it's payroll, accounting, or professional or personal taxes, come see the experts at Management and Tax Services. Proud to be Dwenger supporters for over 60 years. Hi, sports fans. Sean McBride here, inviting you to try the Barbershop experience. St. Joe Center Barbershop, located at the corner of St. Joe Center and Maple Crest, prides itself on professionalism, cleanliness, and a family-friendly atmosphere. In their third generation of family ownership, they have a combined experience of over 125 years. Give them a call at 485-6981. It's my barbershop of choice. That's St. Joe Center Barbershop at 485-6981.
Wayne Stadium, opening night of high school football, and the Saints have a 16-0 lead on the Generals. Offense, defense, and special teams have all scored for the Saints. Belanda boots this one away. This one's a little farther than before, fielded at the 3-yard line. On the return, following a couple holes, getting across the 20, still on his feet, ushered out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
21, Justin Alexander on the return, and that's the number we couldn't figure out across the field earlier, and he came right into our living room here on the 30-yard line, our side of the field. We're able to pick that up a little better, so that we could see his number. That was nice of him.
Hey, you come to the near side of the field, you get your name on the air.
That's exactly right.
So the best starting field position for the Generals tonight at their own 30-yard line.
Around 30. That's saying something in and of itself right there.
And the Saints, I don't think they got everyone off the field in time there. I don't see a flag, though. Meanwhile, a pile of gold helmets surround the ball carrier in the backfield for a loss of 4.
Yeah, that quick toss went nowhere for the Wayne Generals. And Aiden Meeks asking how they didn't get a flag on that player running off the field. But nonetheless, Saints got away with one there, I think.
Well, that was Luke Shuckle, who just had the fumble recovery for a touchdown.
He thought he ought to be in on defense after that, probably. Put me in, Coach.
I got a nose for the football.
That's right.
So instead, it's going to go down as a loss of 5 and a 2nd and 15 for the Generals. Meek under center once again. Hand off straight through the middle. Nelson this time with a full head of steam, and he is up across the 40-yard line. His best run of the evening, and that's got a Wayne first down.
Outstanding power run right there. Straight up the middle. Spin move halfway through it. And fell forward at the end. That's what you want from your power running back.
Well, you mentioned that 1-2 punch with Nelson and Collins. Really nice to see how Collins has taken Nelson under his wing this year and helped him along. Collins being the upperclassman and Nelson the junior. And Nelson's got 2 years ahead of him of good varsity high school football here.
Yeah.
This time, Collins had nowhere to go.
No, that was Nelson again. And I think that he, being a power type of back, is best suited for the straight-ahead north-south running. When they stretch him out and run him off the edge, he's not going to be nearly as productive.
Yeah. I'll get the two of them straight by the end of this broadcast. Going to be 2nd and 10. No gain on the play.
5's got orange cleats, if that helps you any.
Yeah. Meek under center, single back behind him. Looks to throw, fires it across on the slant pattern and is a little bit behind the receiver, goes off his hands, incomplete. And a couple different Saints thought they might have a chance to pick that one off.
Yeah, it looked like at the end of the play, in fact, 31 Cole Carey in there laying a stick as he came across the middle on that slant route. So Saints making their presence known defensively tonight.
Big 3rd and 10 now for Wayne after picking up 1 first down on the drive. Can they keep it going? Another single back formation for Meek. Fakes the handoff. He's got pressure this time, rolls to his right, but will not escape as he goes down. Jack Tippmann there.
I'll tell you, when the Saints have 3rd and long and can pin their ears back and bring a rush, that is when they are the most dangerous defensively, because you never know who's coming. In that 3-4 defensive scheme, you know the 3 down guys are coming, but you never know which of the 4 linebackers. Are you going to come off the edge? Are they going to come up the middle? Or are they going to do some of both? And normally we'll send 2, sometimes 3 guys along with the 3 down linemen. So a really difficult defense to pass protect.
That time it was Jack Tippmann and Ben Simcox combining for that sack. It's going to go down as a loss of 8. And now Meek is going to get set to punt this one away on 4th and 18. O'Keefe and Campbell back deep for the Saints. Last punt was blocked in the end zone, and this time before Meek can even put his foot into it, the play is blown dead. Yeah, delay of game on the offense.
I'm not sure how the play clocks are not in use tonight for some reason. So I'm not real sure who's keeping count, but the flag was thrown back by the return man.
Yeah.
And the punter is probably 50 yards from him, so there was no ability to let him know he was close to the end of the play clock there, I don't think.
Meek standing back at his own 20-yard line. High snap. He does get the punt away, kind of off the side of his foot. That'll trickle down the left sideline. The Saints will let it bounce out of bounds. And again, pretty good field position for the Saints. They'll start at the 36-yard line. And we'll see what the offense can do. Their last time out, they punched into the end zone and didn't even get to see the field last time as the Saints special teams blocked the punt and picked up the ball for a touchdown. So here comes Springer back to the huddle. Bishop Dwenger has had the upper hand in this matchup for sure. They've won 9 straight, including 6 regular season and 3 postseason. And the Saints winning those games by an average of 24 points. So the Saints have had their way with Wayne as of late and have played them in week 1 for the last 5 or 6 years. Here's the snap. And wow, nice defense there as Carter Minix got strung up in the backfield, could not escape.
Tried to give him the jet sweep there to show off some of that speed, and I think it was number 7 for the Wayne Generals. Christian Trimble there came off the edge and stopped it for a big loss for the Saints of about 10.
Yeah, they'll call it 2nd and 21 after the loss. Saints will shift some personnel. They'll put 3 wide receivers down to the near side of the field. KJ Tippmann flanking Evan Springer in the backfield. Here's a snap. Springer looks to throw over the middle, and it is a little bit too low. Intended for Rocco Sioka. Nope, that was 85. That was Stellan Rustin, the intended receiver.
Yeah, I like the idea. The seam route was open there. Springer needed just an extra half a second there to be able to put a good throw on it, and he was under a little bit of pressure on that one.
So they'll be well behind the sticks here on 3rd and 21. Same formation, trips to the near side. Springer's got some time this time, slings it down the sideline looking for, no, that was for O'Keefe in the middle of the field, and he was unable to come back and make a play at the ball as it was underthrown.
Springer stepped up into the pocket there to avoid the rush. Looked like he was going to be able to chuck it downfield, and it just came out of his hand a little wobbly and didn't fly as far as he had hoped, and Henry O'Keefe really had to become the defender on that one. Knocked it down, and we're going to see Simon Garrett for the first time tonight.
How about that? Well, not just yet.
Not just
First,
yet.
the Saints are going to take a timeout. So we will step aside as well. You're listening to Bishop Dwenger Football on BD Media Productions.
Tippmann Group is a family-owned business that's proud to call Fort Wayne home. We build cold storage facilities all around the United States, run one of the largest cold storage companies in the nation, and lease office space in Fort Wayne, like inside the Lincoln Tower.
Hi, I'm John Tippmann, president of Tippmann Group, and our family has been part of the Bishop Dwenger family for many years. We are a proud supporter of Dwenger Athletics. Go Saints!
Garrett, a senior, and he's seen plenty of varsity action. Another weapon on special teams that the Saints have in their bag of tricks. High snap over Garrett's head. He's got to run back into the end zone. He's able to pick it up, trying to escape, and he is going to be stuck and swallowed at his own 5-yard line.
Quite honestly, the senior Garrett, I think, would have been better served just taking the 2 in the end zone. This is a big, they're up 16-0. It's a game they probably will win. This is a great teaching moment right here to explain to him why you want to take the 2-point safety in that particular situation rather than moving the ball out to the 5-yard line, giving the opponent only 5 yards to score 7. Yeah,
I think the only scenario that you want to pick up the football and turn is if you know you have enough space to get the punt away. Garrett did not have that, and instead it's going to be a 1st and goal from the 5 for the Wayne Generals.
Yeah, I saw his father put his arm around him and give some coaching there, so to speak, on the way to the sideline, and it's a great learning experience in the first game of the season there.
So we'll see what Wayne can do with it. Handoff through the middle and able to push the pile down inside the 2-yard line.
Is their bruising running back. Lamarian is in there, Lamarian Nelson, number 9. And they are about a yard and a half away from pay dirt here.
They'll mark that at the 2. Meek under center. Nelson again, this time no, he's going to lose a couple yards as the Saints made it through. Gavin Groves leading the charge for the Saints.
Yeah, the defense is just got pinning their ears back down here at the goal line, and the Generals are going to have to come with something different than that if they want to put it in the end zone here. Timeout by Wayne.
Yep, they want to talk this one over and try to capitalize on the opportunity that the Saints special teams have afforded them. So we will take a timeout as well. You are watching Bishop Dwenger Football on BD Media Productions.
You see them everywhere. That Preferred Auto bumper sticker. All makes and models. You ever wonder why? It's simple. We've worked hard over the last 30-plus years to earn your trust.
And with all the unknowns right now in the auto industry, we're still confident in one thing. With over $6 million in inventory, I'm sure we have the perfect vehicle for you.
So stop by any of our 3 convenient locations and see what sets us apart from the rest.
Preferred Auto.
Welcome back. Wayne Stadium, as the Saints are trying to keep the Generals out of the end zone. The Generals have a 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. And we'll see what Coach Sherwood Haydock calls up here.
Got an update from out at Carroll as well. 17-16 Carroll so far, but I'm told that Lures has outplayed them thus far.
You know, it's not often that a 2A versus a 6A provides a great matchup, but that's what we have there. Meek fires this one to the end zone on the quick slant off the hands of the receiver. And nice play by the defender there, get his mitts in and break that up. That looked like number 39. Quinn Grant.
Yep, on the coverage of Sean Collins. They split Collins out wide, tried to get him the ball on that slant. Not a bad idea from Sherwood after watching his big power back get stuffed on the previous play.
Yeah.
But now they're looking at a 4th down situation here. Looks like they're going to spread it out a little bit, maybe go to the air.
Well, Simon Garrett might have made the right decision after all if they keep him out of the end zone here. And a timeout by the Saints this time.
Yep, they were going to go 3 wide and sort of a bunch to the left with Collins as the split out running back.
Yeah.
I would have expected maybe a swing route to Collins there
Right.
with 3 blockers out in front. Get their fast guy the ball in space, but we won't know.
Well, we're a couple moments away from finding out. You know, Corey, as we talk about Sherwood Haydock as head coach of the Generals, he's someone who has succeeded at every stop he's been at, you know, whether it was Harding or Woodland. He built programs into not only conference contenders, but state contenders.
Well, yeah, won a state championship at Harding, took Woodland to the state championship game. And quite honestly, even though this is his 2nd year, it almost feels like it's first, because when he took over last year, it was right before the pandemic hit. He really didn't get an offseason with any of those kids. They showed up at the beginning of the season last year, and that's the first that he met some of them. So this is really his first true offseason and first year with this program, and I expect big things in the future. He's just simply a good football coach.
No doubt about it. 4th down, Meek is going to roll out. He's got a man wide open, and it is caught in the end zone for a Wayne touchdown.
Yeah, that is a great design of a goal line play to get your guy the touchdown. That's number 5, Collins. They sort of ran all 3 wide receivers inside, almost a pick route against the defender in man-to-man coverage there, and Collins was able to slip out into the flat wide open. Really nice design by the aforementioned Coach Haydock.
Yeah. Nice timing. It's like he was listening.
Yeah,
to something.
no kidding.
So that puts Wayne on the board. And PAT forthcoming by the Generals. Snap is down, kick is up. It's a low kick. It does just squeeze over the crossbar. And your score with 3:23 to go in the 2nd quarter, Bishop Dwenger 16 and Wayne 7. We'll step aside. You're listening to Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Evans Toyota is locally owned and proudly supports Bishop Dwenger. Let's go Saints!
Welcome back. Yeah, 17-14.
That's Snyder leading 17-14. 23-17 Lures now out at Carroll. And that one's going to be a shootout. It's just an absolute track meet out there.
You know, when you look at Lures in 2A, boy, everything is lined up for them this year, right? I mean, this is such a strong team they have coming back.
But
Western Boone has moved up to 3A, the team they lost to in state last year. And what's your butt, Corey?
they got to get out of sectional with
Yes,
the
they do.
Eastside Blazers.
Yes, they do.
And arguably, other than the state championship game, the 2A team that gave them the best game of the year last year.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Line drive kickoff fielded right around the 30 and spun down right across the 40-yard line on the return. That looked like
28. That's a new name. Corbin Till
all right.
gets his first touch of the pigskin this year.
Yeah, Till, one of those bevy of backs that saw action last year. I think at one point we counted 15 different Saints who had rushed the ball.
Yeah, really incredible. They have an absolute stable of running backs, do the Saints.
KJ Tittman, by far the most accomplished. He will be aside Evan Springer in the backfield. KJ gets the rock this time. Big hole for him across the 50-yard line, 45-40, and carries a defender inside the 35-yard line.
He was absolutely carrying, as you mentioned, Deontay Williams, number 19 for the Wayne Generals, 6'3", 175, and KJ was running with him like a backpack.
So first down at the 32-yard line, and the Saints continue that no huddle. Springer again to KJ, another big hole, this time sidestepping a defender at the 20 and down to the 16-yard line.
That defender he sidestepped was Deontay Williams, who wanted no part of him this time. Really nice run, and a huge hole up the middle by that Saints offensive line, who's starting to take over here a little bit.
Really impressive to see that line coming into form already. KJ again through the middle, this time not quite as much room, but still falls forward for a gain of about 4 yards. And that's a sign of a successful run game when your off plays get 4 yards.
Another update from Carroll. Carroll's up 24-23.
Oh, wow.
That thing is, that scoreboard, I hope they've got, I'm glad the lights are new and that new scoreboard out there.
They're going to need it.
It's like a slot machine.
KJ Tippmann again around the near side. He's all the way down inside the 5 to the 3-yard line.
A really nice run. The Saints are exerting their dominance up front right now. Really nice to see out of this inexperienced offensive line. They are taking control of this football game right now.
Well, what we've seen so far, we've seen the Saints coaching staff get Evan Springer's feet wet, and now they're getting the offensive line some practice getting the push for the ball carrier. And both have been successful. First and goal from the 2-yard line. Two receivers out to the far side. Here's Springer, takes a snap, hands it to KJ, trying to finish the job, but he gets upended at the 4-yard line. Loss of 2 on the play.
Nice job by the Wayne Generals up front that time. They haven't had a lot of ability to stop that run, but on that particular play, that was 52. Micah Nunn, 6'2", 255 defensive lineman, who was able to upend KJ. A little equipment timeout, it appears.
Now they'll walk over to the sideline momentarily. And now they'll call him right back. So a minute 22 left in the opening half. Saints probably content to run some time off the clock here. But they've also been practicing the no-huddle offense. Man in motion for the Saints. Springer hands it off to KJ. He's got a blocker in front of him, and he will waltz into the end zone for 6 points for the Saints.
Ran a little power play behind number 57, Ben Tippmann, and just walked in. That was too easy on that power by the Saints.
Well, the Saints have been trying to get everyone involved here in the first half, and we've seen a lot of different people touch the football. And that's one of the luxuries you have with so many skill players with this much experience.
The old swinging gate again.
Yep. Belanda awaiting the snap, boot this one through, kick is up, and it is good. So with 1:03 left in the first half, your score, Bishop Dwenger 23 and the Wayne Generals 7. We'll step aside. You're listening to Bishop Dwenger Football on BD Media Productions.
Communities is a senior living community including a rehabilitation center, memory and dementia care, assisted and residential living, as well as a nursing facility that served the community for over 54 years. While offering a Christ-centered environment that is the only place in Fort Wayne that offers daily mass and sacraments. For more information on employment, senior living, or to make a gift to support the first floor renovation campaign, please visit us at our website or give us a call.
We are back at Wayne Stadium. Saints getting set to kick this one away. 1:03 left in the opening half. And the Saints have found the end zone again, courtesy of a 4-yard touchdown run by K.J. Tippmann, senior running back. Belanda, another high kick. This one's fielded at the 12. Oh, juggled and just has to fall on the football. That's Sean Collins. He is able to retain it.
Justin Alexander, actually, even their PA guy got that one wrong, and it was on his sideline. So we're not the only ones with difficulty seeing those jerseys. Yeah, that was not what the Generals wanted there with 1:03 left in the half. It looked like the Saints had a chance to recover that momentarily.
Yeah. And we'll see if Coach Haydock tries to implement a hurry-up offense here, or if they're just content to take a couple knees and go into the locker room down 2 scores.
I've got to assume that he will run the football right here and take the ball in the second half is my guess. But they go no huddle, so.
Empty backfield, and they'll spread things out.
And we have a delay of game, it appears. Or, too many players on the field?
Illegal formation.
Yeah, well, they got 12 out there. 12 players on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's first game. First game, that can happen occasionally. 2 come off, 1 goes back on. All right, we'll back it up to the 8-yard line.
Well, it's one of the challenges for the Wayne Generals having to face the Saints defense in week 1, as they have for so many years in a row. However, there is some upcoming scheduling changes in the SAC in coming years. We'll talk about that a little bit in the second half.
You're going to break some news?
No.
Oh.
High snap for Meek. He's looking to throw in his own end zone, just tries to get rid of it down the sideline. Dangerous throw, and it falls safely out of bounds.
Really good play by Aiden Meek, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Bad snap. He was under duress. He's in his own end zone. Has the presence of mind not to ground it, but instead throw it over his receiver's head out of bounds. That's a heady play from the senior quarterback.
And Meek has showcased a pretty solid arm. You just get the feeling with their offensive line, he's got limited time to throw and still trying to develop that rapport with his new receivers.
Yeah, make no mistake, second year in Coach Haydock's offense, this team will be better than they were a year ago.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about that. And Aiden's numbers will be better than they were a year ago, but not an easy starting game against the Saints.
Right. And they'll run this one straight through the middle. Another flag on the field as we tick down into a minute, 52 seconds to go.
And we're getting dangerously into that territory where the Saints might start using their timeouts to stop this clock and are starting to have thoughts of putting some more points on the board before halftime.
Right. Well, especially if the Generals are continuing to stop the clock on their own by incomplete passes and penalties.
Exactly right.
So it looks like the Saints will decline the penalty. It was a formation penalty, so instead it's going to be 3rd down. And that's the right play. Give them the loss of down. They're already backed up with the 3rd and 15.
With the clock stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's running.
Now they do wind the clock. Meek under center. He'll hand this one off. And tackled after a short gain. That is Nelson. And we'll see if the Saints call a timeout here.
You know, they wound the clock. I'm surprised that the Saints aren't calling timeout, quite honestly. But they wound the clock there. And the Generals, because there are no play clocks, had no idea what was left on the play clock, so they just snapped the ball.
Otherwise, they could have run some time off.
quite frankly, I don't know how in this day and age you can play a high school football game without play clocks.
And how you can call a delay of game if the offense can't even see how much time's left.
Yeah, that's it. You know, they need to get that fixed out here at Wayne Stadium. That's a shame.
So the clock's going to run all the way down. Is that going to get to 0?
It appears so.
It will. So the Saints are content not to call the timeout, and they will head into the locker room with a 23-7 lead here at Wayne Stadium. We will take a timeout and be back with our halftime presentation. You are listening and watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions. That would be stupendous. Do we have any longer break here, or is it just the normal breaks?
Can First Source help me get more space?
We can help with that.
Does First Source have banking that can keep up with me?
This is open around the clock.
Business is booming. Can you help me expand?
No problem.
Can First Source help me turn this into my own business?
We're here for you. No matter what kind of banking you need, First Source Bank can help.
Many traditions have developed over the years in our hallowed halls that embody the spirit of our humble beginnings, and that makes each and every one of us part of the Dwenger family. This family of dedicated alumni, parents, faculty, staff, and friends have been preparing our young saints for the future, building upon their Catholic faith, expanding their minds, and enriching their hearts. Bishop Dwenger students are educated based on the foundation of 4 pillars: an academic life, a spiritual life, an active life, and a life of service. Focusing on these pillars helps us develop the whole person. We often speak of the Dwenger family, an indescribable sense of community, a focus on tradition, and love for our faith create a special and powerful bond for all of our saints. The commitment to Catholic education throughout the generations is also evident in the time, talent, and treasure the community shares with our school. We are so blessed by the generosity of the Dwenger family, who are loyal to our school in its effort to cultivate citizens of 2 worlds. When our students graduate with a priceless Bishop Dwenger diploma, they also have a deeper appreciation of the Catholic faith, a strong sense of their civic responsibilities, an achievement of academic success, and an unparalleled ability to balance their studies with extracurricular activities. This is what it means to be a saint.
Welcome back to halftime here at Wayne Stadium with the Bishop Dwenger Saints on top 23-7. Corey, as we take a look at the first half there, the Saints obviously were able to flex their muscles in all three facets of the game. And we saw the running game effective late in the first half. We saw the passing game effective early in the first half. What have you been most impressed by, and what do you think the Saints still want to kind of check off the box here tonight?
You know, a couple of things offensively that I really liked. I liked the poise with which Evan Springer played in the first half. He didn't appear rattled at any point.
Right.
I really liked what I saw out of the offensive line, that group that's not young but lacking a lot of varsity action, quite honestly. And, you know, I should have expected it. Any offensive line coached by Jason Fabini is going to not only be good, but be coached well. And they're playing very well this evening against a defensive line that really has them size-wise. So really nice job in those two facets offensively. Defensively, just, you know, the same old Dwenger Saints. They plug and play new guys into this 3-4 scheme, and they continue to bring pressure. They continue to do what they always do over the course of the last 3 to 4 years, first under Coach Kolkman and now under defensive coordinator Dan Nepper. Just done a nice job defensively. Well, actually a little bit surprised. I talked up the special teams quite a lot there early in the game, and they were good early, but made a couple of uncharacteristic mistakes there towards the end of the first half that I know special teams coordinator Todd Ellinger will want to clean up.
Well, and that's kind of reminiscent to the first game every year.
It is.
You've always got those things to work on, and we've talked about for years how Bishop Dwenger starting the year with Wayne, North Side, and South Side. You know, they face the meat of their schedule later in the season, and you can go back and forth on, does that benefit you to start with these teams? Does it not benefit you? I think with this year's Dwenger squad, their offensive line, as it comes together, gets experience, working a new quarterback into the offense, I think this year you can look at it as a benefit.
I tend to agree. It gives them an opportunity to gain some experience, ease into their season. I think that fourth game of the year out at home, or at Homestead, or I believe it's at home actually.
Yes.
Home against Homestead, I should say. But don't overlook Northside next week. They're ahead of Snyder at halftime right now, so we may not be easing into the season quite as much as we thought.
21-17 was the score reported here at Wayne Stadium, and that is a bit of a shocker, Corey, with Snyder. Is you kind of built them up earlier in the broadcast.
I did, and I knew I was going to come back to haunt me, but nonetheless, yes, that game has been a little bit of a surprise to me thus far. It is at Chambers Field.
Yeah.
And Northside had a good summer. I understand they won the big school division of the OPS 7-on-7 this summer, which is a bit of a surprise to me. So they're doing some good things down there at Chambers Field, and obviously tonight they've got Snyder's full attention at halftime.
Yes. Well, you know, they sent shockwaves through the SAC last year by that 30-point shellacking of Snyder in the opening week. And, you know, you got guys back like Jordan Turner and Bronte Johnson who flashed onto the scene as a freshman last year. So a lot of their weapons are back, but of course with Deuce Taylor graduating and moving on, a lot of people expected the Legends to take a step back this year, while Snyder would take a step forward as their youth gained all that experience last year and would be one year more seasoned and more veteran this year. So a lot of football left to be played, but an eye-opening score at halftime, to say the least.
Yeah, I would completely agree. And then we're getting exactly what we expected, I think, out at Carroll and Lures with the scoreboard rolling along and getting a lot of use tonight. Not a lot of defense being played out at Carroll.
Well, we talked about Lures and their chances in 2A this year. I just have to throw this out there, Corey. The last time we saw the Saints, of course, last year in the regional round at Zionsville, they lost on a last-second field goal by A.J. Vinatieri, son of former Colts kicker Adam Vinatieri. 2 weeks later, Lures goes to state, and they lose on a last-second field goal in the 2A title game to Josiah Smith, the son of former Colts punter Hunter Smith. So, I mean, just the irony there that Dwenger and Lures both lose on last-second field goals to the sons of former Colts kickers.
All right, we've crossed the line with obscure kicker trivia.
Oh, I don't think that's obscure, Corey. That's
anything about kicking, Eric, is. No, I'm just kidding.
I tell you what, I was a big fan of those 2000s Colts teams led by Peyton Manning and all those guys.
Oh, man.
And of course, I still have Hunter Smith's jersey in my closet. I was a fan of that
Hunter
guy.
the punter.
Hunter the punter. But just to see that, obviously, it's really cool to see the Colts players retire and then have their sons, remain in Indiana, come through the Indiana high school football tree, so to speak, and have success on some big stages. But unfortunately, it happened last year at the expense of our 2 parochial schools in town.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. That's good trivia. All right, I have a trivia question for you.
All right.
The Saints have won 16 of their last 17 home openers. You know this, don't you?
I know this.
You saw. I got to credit the Swami.
Yeah.
Swami. But do you know the loss?
I do.
Okay.
2015 at Lures.
Yes, and which
but no
happened to be the only loss in the state championship season of 2015.
Yeah.
So I found that to be I got to credit the Swami from Northeast Indiana Game Night on that particular piece of trivia. And yes, you are never surprised by my trivia questions. Once again, you are able to rack up a win there. So one of these days I will stump you.
Not to rub it in, Corey, but the Saints are trying to get back to the state title game, which they last won 1,000 days ago yesterday.
1,000 days ago.
And now we have moved into the obscure trivia.
That's really impressive. That's really impressive. Without an HP 12C Hewlett-Packard calculator, I could not have come up with that.
All right, let's turn it over now to Kevin Stats Thompson. Take a look at the first half numbers. Kevin, what do you have for us?
All right, here with the score 23-7 on Wayne's side, basically all rushing on their end with Nelson and Collins. Nelson had 16 carries for 22 yards, and Collins had 8 carries for 41 yards, so 63 yards total in that first half. On Dwanger's side, we were 17 carries for 166 yards. All those basically by KJ Tippmann, and then Evan Springer was 8 of 13 for 84 yards passing in the first half.
Very efficient start for Mr. Springer. Nicely done, and good yardage all the way around there.
And quite honestly, Corey, you look at the scoreboard 23-7. Keep in mind that touchdown by Wayne was essentially handed to them. They gave them the ball at the 5. Meanwhile, the Saints had a drive stall at the 1-yard line, so it easily could be 30-0 right now.
Yeah, they've dominated the stats probably more than they have the scoreboard thus far.
So, Wayne's got to feel good only being down 2 scores, but at the same time, they know how far they have to go in this game to get back in it.
Yeah, that's very well said.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and take another break here and be back to wrap up our halftime show in a few minutes. You're listening to Bishop Dwenger Football on BD Media Productions.
Evans Toyota is locally owned and proudly supports Bishop Dwenger. Let's go Saints!
There's 3 kinds of people in this world, those that get the numbers and those that don't. If you need professional help when it comes to the numbers, whether it's payroll, accounting, or professional or personal taxes, come see the experts at Management and Tax Services. Proud to be Dwenger supporters for over 60 years.
Thank you so much. That's me.
You see them everywhere. That preferred auto bumper sticker. All makes and models. You ever wonder why? It's simple. We've worked hard over the last 30 plus years to earn your trust.
And with all the unknowns right now in the auto industry, we're still confident in one thing. With over $6 million in inventory, I'm sure we have the perfect vehicle for you.
So stop by any of our 3 convenient locations and see what sets us apart from the rest.
Preferred Auto.
St. Anne Communities is a senior living community including a rehabilitation center, memory and dementia care, assisted and residential living, as well as a nursing facility that served the community for over 54 years. While offering a Christ-centered environment that is the only place in Fort Wayne that offers daily mass and sacraments. For more information on employment, senior living, or to make a gift to support the first floor renovation campaign, please visit us at our website or give us a call.
Hi, sports fans. Sean McBride here, inviting you to try the Barbershop experience. St. Joe Center Barbershop, located at the corner of St. Joe Center and Maple Crest, prides itself on professionalism, cleanliness, and a family-friendly atmosphere. In their 3rd generation of family ownership, they have a combined experience of over 125 years. Give them a call at 485-6981. It's my barbershop of choice. That's St. Joe Center Barbershop at 485-6981.
Tippmann Group is a family-owned business that's proud to call Fort Wayne home. We build cold storage facilities all around the United States, run one of the largest cold storage companies in the nation, and lease office space in Fort Wayne, like inside the Lincoln Tower.
Hi, I'm John Tippmann, president of Tippmann Group, and our family has been part of the Bishop Dwenger family for many years. We are a proud supporter of Dwenger Athletics. Go Saints!
Can First Source help me get more space?
We can help with that.
Does First Source have banking that can keep up with me?
This is open around the clock.
Welcome back to Wayne Stadium, getting set to go for half number 2 as the Saints lead the Generals 23-7. Corey, I think in a perfect scenario here, the Saints would get up by a couple more scores and then get to get in some of their subs and gain even a little more experience.
Yeah, a lot of clean jerseys yet on the Dwenger sideline, yeah, I mean, out of the half here, Wayne's going to receive. The Saints obviously want to come out strong with a 3 and out on defense here and see if they can't get the offense the ball back. So we'll see what happens. On the other side of the field, obviously Coach Haydock, if he could figure out a way to engineer a drive and get some points,
yeah,
they'd be right in this ballgame.
Right. Well, he's already made an impact on this Wayne General team. And you mentioned the challenge of coming in and then immediately having a pandemic hit, having virtually no off season, and they still managed to improve their win total from 0 wins in 2019 to 2 wins last year. They were able to knock off Northrop in week 3, 42-33, and then they outlasted, I guess is the right word, Huntington North 12-8 in the sectional opener. What, as a coach, what does it take to keep a team focused? You know, after that win in week 3, you lose 6 in a row to end out the conference season, still have the fortitude to open up sectionals with a win.
I'll tell you what, it's really, really difficult.
Yeah.
I have always said that changing the culture of a football team is the most difficult task in sports because you're dealing with the most people.
Yeah.
And it is just really, really a difficult, tall task. Now, again, you mentioned it earlier, Coach Haydock has been able to do that at 2 other stops.
Right.
And I fully expect him to do it here at Wayne eventually. But, you know, we just hope it doesn't happen tonight.
That's right. Well, they've got a ways to go. They've got a lot of work to do to get that done. But so far, it's been impressive watching the Saints. I think efficient, as you said, probably the best word to describe the Saints' offense so far tonight, other than that the opening drive that stalled at the 1-yard line. That's really the only mistake they've made.
I really like what I see out of Evan Springer. He's not trying to do too much. And we've seen that before at the Dwenger quarterback position. And but Evan has done a nice job of managing the game and just taking what the defense gives him, getting the ball. I mentioned it earlier, and I like the word. He's been a really good distributor of the football to their weapons.
Well, the last time a Dwenger QB got his first experience at Wayne Stadium was also the last time that the Generals beat the Saints. And you have to go back to 2014 for that. That was the year that Wayne, led by the Powers brothers, got a share of the SAC title that year. Scott Shaw's lone season as head coach. And that was the game that Blake Pachelny saw his first varsity action.
Wow. I was even on the staff then, and I didn't barely remember that. But I certainly remember the Powers twins because they were really good.
They ran all over the field and, quite honestly, ran all over the Saints that night.
I try to erase bad memories from my memory, and that was a bad one for our Dwenger offense that night, if memory serves me correctly. So.
Well, since then, it's been all Saints in this series. And they look to continue that dominance tonight. I mentioned they've been winning these scores by an average of, or winning these games by an average of 24 points per game. They've only had one game in the last 9 that have been decided by less than 15 points, and that one was our last time calling a Dwenger game here, the 2018 sectional championship. And that one, I will say, is probably still fresh in your mind.
No question about it. Wayne was that close to keeping the Saints from that second state championship that they have put together in the last decade. I mean, Wayne absolutely, had they had a field goal kicker, I think they would have beat the Saints that night.
Agreed. Here we go. Second half is underway as Belanda kicks this one back, fielded at the 11-yard line. And across the field he goes, cutting out and in. And a lot of lateral movement to gain a couple yards there.
21, Justin Alexander on the carry or the return again. The Saints are very smart in the sense that they've got a chance to kick to either Sean Collins or Justin Alexander. And needless to say, Justin Alexander has received the football on every kickoff tonight.
Right. Not by mistake. That's a luxury you get with a guy like Belanda kicking the football. Every one of his kickoffs is very much dissected and planned out. Has excellent control and placement of the football. So the Generals will start this drive right at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. Meeks under center, got single back formation behind him. Here's the handoff. And not much there.
That's Nelson on the carry. Cole Carey on the stop for the Saints from his strong safety position. Nice job coming up and making that stick, kind of running the alley, as we like to say, with that strong safety, and assisted by Sam Campbell from the corner spot.
Cole Carey, one of those guys that got experience last year in the backfield for the Saints, and now getting a bigger role on defense. But that varsity experience he gained last year, invaluable for sure. 2nd and 10 after no gain on the play. Meek under center once again. Hands it off, this time Collins trying to turn up the field and gains about 5 yards out to the 25.
Carey again on the tackle. I think actually Cole's playing the free safety spot that's normally occupied by Colin Vance. I think Colin may be nursing an injury of some sort. Normal starter there at that free safety spot because Adam Lee is the other safety, and I'm pretty sure he's playing strong safety tonight. So
3rd and 5 now as the Saints defense looks to put a stop here on the first series of the second half. Again, tight formation for the Generals, Meek under center. He'll roll it out this time. Bootleg, and the Saints are there. Excellent takedown tackle there.
Just mentioned him. Adam Lee.
That's right. Lee tracked down Aiden Meek in the backfield and wrapped up his ankles, would not let him go.
Yeah, and Meek gets up hobbling a little bit. I think he may have twisted that ankle on that tackle. Now he's got a punt with the bum ankle.
Yeah. We'll see if he can walk it off or if coaching staff tries to make a substitution.
Yeah, I think they may be forced to now. They've blown the whistle for an injury timeout. So.
Yep, you've got to at least sit out one play.
We're going to find out if Coach Haydock has a backup punter.
So a moment for an injury timeout. The teams will come to the sideline for a moment, get a chance to talk about it. Corey, you mentioned earlier, our next week, the Saints, with their home opener of the season, will be hosting the Northside Legends. Highly entertaining game last year. Of course, they played them twice. Once up at Chambers Field, and the Saints turned a tight game and kind of ran away with it in the fourth quarter, and then again played them in the sectional championship. And that was one that the Legends stuck around until the very end. Had a couple chances at the end of the game, down by 8 with the football, but the Dwenger defense snuffed out their last-ditch effort.
One of the most electric players in the state in Bronte Johnson out there at Northside. I just saw somewhere that he was the #1 ranked football player in the state of Indiana in the 2025 class for recruiting purposes, and top 30 in the country. Well, so a lot of people very high on Bronte Johnson, which we will see next week.
Be hard-pressed to find a more accomplished freshman receiver after last season. Here's the snap, and it's going to be – the Saints will swallow him up. I think they're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line.
Which is even better, quite frankly, for the Saints than the safety would have been.
Yeah. So a high snap, and the man that had to go fill in for Meek at the punter position did not get his number, but
that was Sean Collins.
Okay. So Collins took the football, and because the snap took so long to get there, he did not have the room to get the punt away. And you're right, Corey. He would have been better served just to run backwards into the end zone.
You could not have possibly scripted a better start to the second half for the Saints when the offense gets to start on the Wayne General 1-yard line.
Yes. Springer's going to come out under center. KJ Tippmann single back behind him in the backfield.
That's Teddy Steele.
Oh, you're right. Steele gets the handoff, gets a push at the line. Looks like he's over. He is.
They're going to let Teddy make it into the scorebook tonight.
Touchdown Saints at the 9:24 mark of the third quarter. It's 29-7. Bishop Dwenger on top.
Not much to that. Straight ahead run behind that offensive line for the touchdown for Teddy Steele. That could not have gone worse for the Wayne Generals out of the halftime talk there, pep talk from Coach Haydock. That's not what he wanted to see to start the second half. Went from a game that they were a score away from being in to now being sorely out of the game.
Exactly. Volanda's kick goes through, and that makes it 30-7. Saints on top. We will step aside. You're listening to Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
You know, there's 3 kinds of people in this world. Those that get the numbers and those that don't. If you need professional help when it comes to the numbers, whether it's payroll, accounting, or professional or personal taxes, come see the experts at Management and Tax Services. Proud to be Dwenger supporters for over 60 years.
We are back. We are back live at Wayne Stadium as the Saints have added 7 more points to the board, courtesy of a 1-yard Teddy Steele touchdown run. And that, of course, was set up by, I guess you'd call that a sack, right? That fourth down punt attempt that the punt never happened.
Right, so you can't call it a block.
Right. But any way you look at it, the Dwenger special teams has been feasting tonight.
Yeah, often the case right out of the gate.
Yeah. Really, the missed field goal by Belanda is the only blemish you can really put on the Saints special teams.
Well, and the snap over the head of the punter.
Yeah. Good point. And this time a booming kick. That's going to be a touchback all the way into the end zone as Belanda booms that one.
Yeah, that's a defense's best friend, making the opponent start from the 20.
Yeah. Now, granted, with Belanda's power and accuracy, sometimes the Saints back up a defense inside the 20-yard line by kicking it short. But it's tough to argue with no return.
No. Anytime you force a team to go at least 80 yards,
yeah,
you're putting your defense in a great position.
So here are the Generals on offense yet again. Looks like Meek is back in at quarterback. We'll see how mobile he is on that ankle. He's going to start in the shotgun. Maybe that's by design, less movement. A high snap. Meek just barely pulls it down, tosses it across the middle into traffic, and it goes wide of the intended receiver.
Really nice job of knocking that down by Cole Carey.
Yeah.
And I don't anticipate the Wayne Generals in the shotgun much more if they can't get the snap down.
Right.
Kind of important in the shotgun is the first item that takes place, and that is the actual snap.
They've already had one fumbled snap tonight under center, as well as some high snap issues on shotgun and punting formations. They're going to spread things out now. Trips to the near side. Snap goes to the side, and they're going to swing it out to the man out of the backfield. That's good for a short gain back up to the 17-yard line.
Sean Collins on the little bubble catch out wide. They're just trying to simply get the ball out to an athlete in space, but the Saints defense was ready for that for sure.
3rd and long now, called a 3rd and 12 at the Generals' own 18-yard line.
Saints defense is just kind of suffocating if you're an offensive
yeah.
coach, quite frankly. It wouldn't be any fun whatsoever to be calling plays on the other side
no.
of it.
And for a lot of these guys seeing their first varsity action, lining up across from these Saint defenders, not your ideal scenario. Meek's going to take this snap on 3rd down, rolls to his right, launches it downfield, and it is caught. Caught up at the 30-yard line. It's going to be close to the marker.
It is.
I think it is enough for a first down.
Yeah, nice pitch and catch by the Wayne Generals there. Cole Carey on the defensive coverage, but just a hair late to break it up.
Yeah. First and 10 as the Generals have moved the ball up to the 30-yard line. Meek calling out signals. He's going to be in the shotgun again. And a flag. A flag kind of haphazardly tossed in the middle of the line of scrimmage.
Like right underneath the center,
yeah.
quite honestly. That was an interesting toss of the flag.
He didn't even blow the whistle right away.
I think the center simply moved the football a little too much for the referee's liking prior to snapping it, and we'll just toss some laundry in there at him.
Right.
Yeah, it was you. It was you, big fella.
Same formation for the Generals here on a 1st and now 15. Back to the 25-yard line. Here's Meek. Looking to throw, got some pressure up the middle, fires it deep down the middle of the field. He's got a man open and got turned around. Otherwise, he'd be running into the end zone right now.
Yeah, 39 for the Saints in there on the pass coverage this time, and that's Quinn Grant, who has been subbed in a couple of times defensively. And but Sean Collins got behind him.
Yeah.
Just couldn't locate the football.
Right. And it was well placed. If he would have stayed in stride with the football in his vision, he would have caught that. And
I still think Aiden Meek is waiting too long to make that throw.
Yeah.
He's standing back in the pocket. He has time to throw, I'll give him that. But he needs to throw it with a little bit more air under it and let Sean run out underneath
right.
it.
Throw the receiver open instead of waiting to see them open.
Right.
And allowing time for the defender to catch up.
Yep. The old if you're even, you're leaving kind of thing against a defender.
Saints show pressure, then they back off. Meek looking to throw yet again. Flushes out to the right side and throws towards the sideline. They'll say incomplete. Caught the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, Sean Collins Was right over there near the sideline, couldn't drag that foot, it appeared.
Just want to mention our second quarter sponsor tonight. We failed to get that in the second quarter, but Evans Toyota, located at the corner of Lima and Coliseum and online at evanstoyota.com. Evans Toyota is a proud supporter of the SAC and Bishop Dwenger High School. See Chad Vogelweed for a Toyotally excellent buying experience.
Nicely done.
I didn't write it.
Toyotally.
Yeah. You won't forget that, will you?
No, I like that. Catchy.
Second down for the Generals. Meek running for his life. Actually has some green in front of him across the 35-yard line and absolutely hammered right in front of the Dwenger bench. Meek gets up and he is he's going to need some time.
43 Ben Jackway, I think, on that stick. Came out of nowhere and laid the wood.
Wow.
To Aiden Meek, and Aiden's going to have need a little time to catch his breath on that one, I'm afraid.
He initially got up and started walking back towards the field of play and then had to stop, and now he is down on his knee and has his helmet off. That was an absolute licking applied by the Saints defense. Kind of jarred his helmet off and the ball out and everything.
Yeah, and a great stick. I think it was fundamentally sound,
right,
and stopped him short of the first down marker altogether. So, outstanding job by Ben Jackway.
Well, that's what you want to see. You want to see the hits made legally, and administered in an effective way. That was definitely effective. You know, when you cross the line to kind of a violent hit, or when you lead with a crown, that's when you get into the issues.
That's about the biggest stick I've ever seen from a 5'8", 145-pound defensive back. I mean, it's not as if Ben is the biggest defensive back I've ever seen out there, but pound for pound, that was quite a stick.
Whereas Meek, standing at 6 foot 185.
Yeah, he took the brunt of that one.
He did. And he's able to walk off the field under his own power, but
did somebody get the number of that car that hit me? The license plate? I mean, that was a shot. Well done, Ben Jackway.
Well, no doubt they'll take a look at Meek on the sideline. We hope nothing for the best, but for him, hopefully he's able to return to the ball game.
Christian Trimble in under center now for the Wayne Generals.
It is a 4th and 2 situation, and Wayne has it on their own 38-yard line. So we'll see if the offense, they might try to capitalize on the short yardage.
They'd be smart to go on a long count potentially. As long as they don't jump first.
That's right. They're going to hand it off and try to pile their way up to the 40-yard line, and it looks like they got there just barely on a second effort.
Appears to me.
Yeah, looking for, there it is. All right, so it is a first down. And the Saints are able, or I'm sorry, the Generals are able to move the sticks. So they'll keep this drive moving. Meek will remain on the sideline. So quarterback duties continue to be manned by Christian Trimble, the 5'11 junior.
One would assume the future of the Wayne Generals program next year under center, more than likely. Good opportunity for him to get some meaningful snaps here anyway.
Yeah. Under center. And he's looking to throw, rolls out to his right and tosses that one a little bit low for the intended receiver. Incomplete, it'll be 2nd and 10.
Did a nice job of rolling out there. Not a lot of touch on that pass, but that'll come with experience, I think.
Yep. We should mention, Corey, this is a far cry from a year ago, week 1, when there were no fans in the stands at all. Got a nice contingent out here, especially on the visiting side for the Dwenger fans, and the students showed up in full force. I'll say that much.
That's a great point. We got Hawaiian night down there in the student section, so all those folks enjoying that.
Including Father David Hunick.
Yeah.
He's not one to miss out on the Hawaiian night
No,
fun.
he's done a nice job with that Hawaiian shirt.
Here's a handoff on second down. That is Lamarian Nelson up across the 40-yard line to about the 43. So at this point, Wayne, the offense and Haydock and company look content to just try to work on the offense, continue to improve and get these guys some reps together.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we have Wyatt Tippmann in at defensive line, who is the younger brother of TJ Tippmann and Devin Tippmann.
Very nice.
So the Tippmanns, we thought we were going to go a year without any without any of the Tippmanns on defense, and Wyatt has other ideas.
There you go. That time Nelson up close to the marker. It's going to be 3rd and short. No, sorry, 4th and short. Well, Corey, I'll say this. You've got me on Tippmann trivia.
Yeah.
I cannot keep track of who's in whose family.
I know. Good to see. Good to see Wyatt in the defensive line rotation. Snyder 23, Northside 21.
So Snyder has retaken the lead there.
And I've heard things have quieted down out at Carroll a bit. We've had a Lures interception and a Carroll fumble, so a couple of turnovers out there at Carroll Stadium, and so not a lot of scoring in the second half thus far. I imagine they're worn out.
Yeah. Those offenses are not getting much rest.
No.
So they're going to measure this one. Ball is currently marked at the 49-yard line. It looks clearly like a 4th down, and maybe they just want to see how much they need to get it. It's about half a yard. Again, the Saints on top 30-7 here in third quarter action. 5:32 to go in the third quarter. By the way, this third quarter, or I'm sorry, not the third quarter, but our halftime was brought to you by First Source Bank. Are you ready to take a big step forward in life and set up your own bank account? First Source Bank has the perfect option for students. Our e-student accounts are simple to start, and they're designed to help begin your financial journey. Check it out at firstsource.com. That's firstsource, 1ST source.com.
Lamarian Nelson on that carry does a nice job of picking up the first down. Initial contact had him stopped, but he bounced off, kind of worked it outside, if you will, bounced it outside and picked up the first down. This is turning out to be one of the better drives of the night for the Wayne Generals so far, maybe the best.
Yeah. They're across midfield, and interestingly, this is the drive without Aiden Meek at quarterback.
Yeah, I find that very interesting as well.
Although you've got to hand it to him on that run where he was absolutely lit up on the sideline. He actually gained a lot of yardage there, and that's one of the things that helped keep the drive going.
No question. I think Sherwood has gotten a little bit more conservative offensively with the backup quarterback in, and they've been able to move the chains a little bit.
Yeah. That time inside handoff, I believe that was Collins.
That's Collins.
And tiptoeing his way through the line up across the 45 to the 44.
Picked up about 4, I believe, but Collins is now down, and that might be a cramp.
We hope so. We'd hate to see nothing happen. He's really the engine that makes this team go.
Oh, my goodness, yes. Yeah, I think he's nursing a cramp, and given all of his activity on both sides of the football tonight, wouldn't shock me to be cramping up on a hot evening like this.
Yeah. So a 2nd and a long 5, they'll say, at the 43-yard line.
I'm starting to cramp up a little bit myself up here.
Yeah, try to stay limber up here. Move around if you need to.
Need to hydrate.
Trumbull under center. Another handoff. Collins tries the far side of the field. gets a couple yards.
Picked up, yeah, maybe 2 to 3.
Yeah, 3rd and 3 upcoming for the Generals. If nothing else, they have eaten up some time off the clock and kept this ball out of the hands of the Dwenger offense.
They have. Saints have played, quite a few guys defensively as well. A number of players. Of course, they always will run a defensive line rotation. They run in, any number of defensive linemen to keep the pass rush fresh. But they've been substituting quite liberally in the secondary and at linebacker as well tonight. Given the heat, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So 3rd and 4 now. Tremble on the naked bootleg. He's met by the Saints defenders, and they take him down. A nice play there by none other than Adam Lee.
Yeah, Adam Lee was not fooled by that quarterback bootleg whatsoever. And, it's pretty rare for the Dwenger defense to be fooled by a bootleg. So, usually one of the more disciplined units in the city.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got that right. Anytime opposing offenses try to find the edge, it's nowhere in sight. So that loss is going to make it 4th and 11 back on the 49-yard line. And looks like Aiden Meek returns to the field. Wayne's going to take a timeout on this 4th down as they're right near the midfield stripe looking to keep this drive going. We'll step aside as well. You are watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions. Back at Wayne Stadium, a 4th and 11 awaiting the Wayne Generals here. 2:54 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Generals trail the Saints 30-7. You mentioned, Corey, that the schedule for the SAC is having a bit of a facelift. That was announced this summer that there's going to be a scheduling rotation beginning in 2023. So we still have this year and next year with the current schedule. And then after that, every 2 years, there'll be a rotation with a home 1 year, away 1 year against the opponents. And then the next 2 years switched out. Well, more on that in a second. Meek on 4th down, fires it across the field to the sideline. It is caught and a flag on the play. That's going to be a 1st down with pass interference called against the Saints as well.
Yeah, 39 Quinn Grant was out there on the coverage, and I have to assume that he's going to get nabbed for a little interference, but not going to matter, as I think. Boy, it's close, though. It is really close. Is it a 1st down?
Yeah, initially it looked like it was.
Now we got to find out, because the question is, you take the penalty, obviously, if it's not a 1st down.
Right.
But if it is a 1st down, you decline the penalty. So.
But do they tell you if it's a 1st down before they make you?
No, they have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Haydock is Coach Haydock's asking. And looks like he's going to take the penalty because I think they're short. I think they're short of the sticks.
Maybe by 6 inches or so. It's not much.
15 marks it off any further anyway. So
that's true.
Either way.
Yeah, the pass play picked up 12, and the penalty picked up 15. So
there you go.
Ball's now on the 33-yard line. We made that harder than it had to be.
Easy math for us, right?
So 1st down, Generals at the Bishop Dwenger 33. Meek is back in the game and fakes the handoff, barely gets rid of the football. Heavy pressure there applied.
Really nice job. Mitchell Bayermeister, number 90, sophomore doing a nice job coming off the edge there. Mitchell also in the defensive line rotation tonight, and the Saints are rolling a number of kids through there.
Yep.
Doing a nice job up front. Keep fresh bodies on the field, keep that pass rush going.
Another scoring update. Homestead on top of Northrop, 24-14.
Northrop shocked them a year ago.
Yep.
Right out of the gate, but
there are some quarantine issues going on at that point.
There were, you're right.
2nd and 10. Handoff through the middle.
Like Lamarian Nelson there on the carry.
Yep.
Does a pretty good job of picking up a solid 3 or 4.
Called 3rd and 7 coming up.
They really are grinding the clock down on this particular drive. It seems like forever since the Saints offense has been on the field.
Yeah. 3rd and 7 upcoming as we tick down inside 2 minutes to go in quarter number 3.
Imagine this is probably the strategy Coach Haydock would have liked to have employed to begin the game, and just never really got a chance to put it in place.
Yeah. Meek takes a snap. Quick handoff.
Trap play again.
Yep.
Really nice job. That pulling guard, that's number 71 for the Generals, which is Virgil Alexander. Pulls from his right guard spot, kicks out the left end, and Collins comes right up the middle. And nice little trap play.
So that does pick up 4 yards, but it does bring up a 4th down, 4th and 3 at the 26-yard line. Generals have already converted a couple 4th downs on this drive to keep it going. They need to get to the 22. Meek's in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the far side of the field. Again a high snap. Meek does a great job pulling it down. He's got a man open and tosses towards the end zone. It is caught, and that is good for a Wayne touchdown.
A really good job by the Wayne General receiver. I think that's 19. Deontay Williams found the football, went up and got it, high-pointed it, as they say.
Yeah.
And good job by Aiden Meeks to find him. There was a lot of defensive back traffic down there from the Saints. There were 3 or 4 defenders in the general vicinity, but Williams went up and got it.
Yeah, none of them made a play on the ball like Williams did, and as a result, Meek probably held on onto that one a little bit too long again, but nice play by his receiver to locate the ball, as you said, high point it, and come down and then just use some power to drive the defenders into the end zone from about the 1-yard line. So the Generals will be lining up for the PAT to try to put 14 on the board. And, that's an interesting number because Bishop Dwenger has held in their 40 games under Coach Garrett, they've held teams to 14 and under 32 times. 80% of their games. And that kick is up. And it is good. We do have a flag on the field.
I think that'll be assessed on the kickoff more than likely. I think we've got a roughing penalty.
So if the Saints can hold on here and limit the Generals to 14 points, that will. Yep. That's right, roughing the kicker. So that'll be assessed on the kickoff. But, Corey, that's a pretty phenomenal number. 32 out of 40 games under Garrett, your opponents have scored 14 or less.
Yeah, testament to the defense. Just been amazing. And initially, as I mentioned earlier, under Coach Kolkman for a couple of years, and now in the second year under defensive coordinator Dan Nepper. Just that 3-4 defensive structure just seems to be every single year plug and play new guys in, and it's just as effective.
Well, if you folks were listening to Redeemer Radio last year or watching on BD Media, we had that streak that we touted every week, right? The 16 points or less allowed in regulation. We might retire that streak, but this is I'm going to try this one on for size, Corey. What do you think of this one? Related to allowing teams to score 14 or fewer points. We mentioned they've done that 32 times. The Saints are 31-1 when allowing 14 points or less, and only 4-4 when allowing over 14.
How about that? That's a big time stat there, Mr. Pete.
I'll give you extra points if you can tell me the one time that Dwenger held the team under 14 and still lost.
Wow.
I'll give you some time. This will be like the Affleck trivia question. We'll give you like
Snyder?
a couple minutes. Nope.
No.
It was a tournament game.
No kidding. Held a team under 14 and still lost.
Yep.
That.
You'll know it as soon as I tell you.
Give me a minute.
Okay. You'll get it. I've got confidence in you.
Valpo?
Yes.
All right. Took me a while, but
Yep.
I got there.
That was a 10-7 ball game.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that was a barn burner.
That was. Onside kick
Oh,
attempt
it
by
didn't
the
go
Generals.
10. They had them.
Yeah.
They had them, and they had the Saints right where they wanted. I love the timing of that, quite frankly. 14-30.
Sure.
They had it scouted well, and the ball didn't go 10 yards for the Generals, so the Saints escape. But they had them.
Wow. You know, that's you look at Coach Haydock and that coaching staff. That is a great call because after that touchdown, you're down technically 2 scores. You're down by 16 points. If you can get the ball back there, this is kind of like what we said at the beginning of the second half. Your offense has more confidence right now than at any point in the ball game after that long, methodical touchdown drive that ended with a quick strike play.
I love that call.
Yeah.
Just didn't execute it.
Yep. So close. Here's a handoff. KJ Tittman with all the room in the world ahead of him, and he runs it all the way to the midfield stripe. We do have a flag on the play. It's going to be against the Dwenger sideline.
Yeah, Dwenger sideline. A little too far out on the field there. Just a warning.
Yeah.
But I'd like to, that's a great run by KJ. I would like to say that I'd like to see him stretch that out to the sideline, though. He's a north-south runner. I get it. But and he almost looks for contact. But I think on that particular play, there was more daylight towards the numbers.
Dwenger offense finally getting another crack at it here. As you mentioned, been so long since they saw the field. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line, 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. Springer in the shotgun. Here's a snap, low snap, gets it to KJ. He's going to go right through the middle, and he'll gain about 3 yards on first down.
Well, power play pulled the right guard. That was, I think, number 70, we'll call it. Yeah, no, Elijah, no, 57. I'm sorry, I'm reading the number wrong. Ben Tittman, behind Ben Tittman on the pull for that power play.
And that will bring us to an end of the third quarter. Your score after 3, Bishop Dwenger 30 and the Wayne Generals 14. We'll step aside. You are listening to Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
You see them everywhere. That preferred auto bumper sticker. All makes and models. You ever wonder why? It's simple. We've worked hard over the last 30-plus years to earn your trust.
And with all the unknowns right now in the auto industry, we're still confident in one thing. With over $6 million in inventory, I'm sure we have the perfect vehicle for you.
So stop by any of our 3 convenient locations and see what sets us apart from the rest. Preferred Auto.
Welcome back to Wayne Stadium as we check in on some other scores. Corey's got an update on Bishop Luers and Carroll out at Charger Field.
Yeah, been a little slower scoring in the second half. I'm hearing they're cramping up from all the scoring they did in the first half, but Luers has just scored. They're up 31-24 over Carroll, and that would be a bitter pill to swallow to open up the new Carroll Stadium.
And it would be a signature win for Bishop Luers, who is, not, as we mentioned, not only has a great chance to make a 2A run this year, but they're kind of a dark horse to make a run at an SAC title. I think a lot of people have them below the heavyweights, but if they can beat Carroll
Wow, that would send a message right out of the gate, no doubt about it. And it sends a message through all of 2A, quite honestly.
Oh, yeah.
You beat a 6A school
Yep.
who's got a D1 quarterback?
Sure.
Wow.
I don't care what 6A team it is. 2A over 6A is huge any way you slice it.
Absolutely.
Springer moving some personnel around. He takes a snap now and hands it off. This is Aziz Dixon on the carry, his first carry of the game, and he slices his way all the way inside the 20 or the 25-yard line down to the 22, and some laundry at the end of the run.
Yeah, got to believe maybe a face mask. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it looks like a face mask.
Corey, this is another example of fresh legs
Wow.
in the backfield.
He looked like he was
How
shot
about
out
that?
of a cannon.
Yeah.
Well, and he's a nice change of pace to KJ. KJ's more of a power back.
Right.
Not that he's not fast, but Aziz Dixon has just got a little quick to him.
Yeah. He showed a lot of promise last year in spurts.
He did. I wondered if we'd see him tonight a little later in the game than I expected, quite frankly. But nice opening run for him.
Well, you know, that's we've seen that as a strategy of Jason Garrett. He likes putting some fresh legs in late in the ball game. You remember last year, Devin Tittman, he was kind of like the finisher.
Yeah.
He would come in, you know, he'd play linebacker all game, but fourth quarter, no one else was touching the football when it was coming a handoff from the backfield. Here's a snap. Dixon again, shifty at the line of scrimmage, makes a man miss, and up to the 16-yard line for a gain of 2.
Pretty good job there by the general defense, just collapsing in on Dixon, and gone to Teddy Steele again in the backfield.
Yeah. Second and a long 8 for the Saints. Steele will take the handoff, go to the right, cut back up through the middle, and take it down to the 10-yard line.
Just a little power play to the right side that time, and nice job by Teddy getting up in there and picking up a little bit of yardage. Going to bring up third and about 3.
Yep. Yeah, with all the weapons on this Dwenger squad, there's a couple of guys we've hardly called tonight, like Henry O'Keefe and Jack Tittman.
And Rocco Sioka, who, you know, arguably was one of the better receivers in the city last year, hadn't had many touches tonight.
Right. I have a feeling they'll get their chances as the season progresses. Right now, a pitch, and it's a nice-looking running play. Teddy Steele powers his way all the way to the end zone, and Bishop Dwenger puts 6 more points on the board to open up the fourth quarter.
Ran that little quick toss, pin and pull play out to the left-hand side, and Teddy showed some real quickness around the left end there.
He has got some speed and some excellent blocking downfield on the near side by the Dwenger wide receivers. And that's something we should give some credit for. We might not be calling their numbers a lot for receptions, but the Dwenger receivers have done some excellent job run blocking downfield that have allowed some of these Dwenger running backs to break off these big runs.
Yeah, no question. Coach Schwarzkopf, our Hall of Fame former head coach, I remember his favorite line was "No block, no rock." So he used to use that often with our receivers, and if they wanted to catch the ball, they had to block first, and was a big advocate for that.
Joe Belanda boots it through, and that makes your score 37-14. Bishop Dwenger on top of the Generals with 10:32 to go in the ball game. We'll step aside. You're listening to Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Hi, sports fans. Sean McBride here, inviting you to try the Barbershop experience. St. Joe Center Barbershop, located at the corner of St. Joe Center and Maplecrest, prides itself on professionalism, cleanliness, and a family-friendly atmosphere. In their 3rd generation of family ownership, they have a combined experience of over 125 years. Give them a call at 485-6981. It's my barbershop of choice. That's St. Joe Center Barbershop at 485-6981.
Welcome back. We are here at Wayne Stadium, and we'd like to remind you that Tittman Properties is a proud supporter of the Saints and is currently leasing in multiple locations throughout Fort Wayne, including the historic Lincoln Tower. For details regarding available space, call Larry at 469-5447. Saints on top 37-14. Teddy Steele finding the end zone for the second time tonight. And getting set to kick things away.
It's like Ryan Ward getting the opportunity to kick off here.
End over end kick bouncing at the 20-yard line, and Wayne just having to pick up the football and making some men miss, and now he's got some blockers in front down the far sideline across the 45 and up near midfield. Excellent return by the Generals and their best starting field position of the night.
It's so oftentimes that happens on one that gets kicked around in the back end. It throws the timing of everything off, particularly the coverage unit in that instance. And the Saints struggled there to make coverage there, and the Wayne has the ball out almost to midfield.
Got so many images in my mind of Austin Mack doing the same thing for Bishop Luers back in the day. It didn't matter if the kick was to him or to the sideline or just pick it up off the turf, and then just the ability to elude defenders and make something out of nothing. So the Generals start this drive at their own 47-yard line. Tight formation for Meek, man in motion. They'll hand it to him. Trying the far side, and nothing doing there as multiple Dwenger defenders made it into the backfield to swallow him up.
Yeah, Saints defense there. Nice job, Gavin Groves. Adam Lee came up to help out. Just really like what I see out of that Dwenger 3-4 defense.
Just an opportunity for a lot of guys to step into new roles, make names for themselves.
Just incredible how well they just pick up where they left off with a bunch of new faces.
Especially after, I mean, when you look at the players they lost after last season, without looking at the current roster, you'd think, man, this is going to be a rebuilding season. And Meek able to corral the high snap, fire this one into heavy traffic, and overthrows his intended receiver.
The teams that this defense has struggled with over the last 3 or 4 years have been those that have been really big up front, because in a 3-4 scheme, you don't have a lot of bulk in there. You're playing with speed.
Right.
And, Valpo was big up front, was able to run the football. Zionsville last year was big up front and able to run the football. Snyder was big up front a few years ago and able to run the football, and that, it seems to be the kryptonite for this 3-4 speed defense. So we'll see as the year progresses. I know Snyder is big up front again.
Snyder's big. Homestead's usually big.
That is where you have some trouble in the 3-4 scheme sometimes if you don't have a big monster at nose guard that can two-gap, so to speak, and create a pile up front. So we'll, as the season wears on, we'll see. But right now, they're not having any problem with that Wayne offensive line.
They are not. Nelson on the carry, it goes nowhere, and it's going to be 4th and 13 for the Generals. Looks like Bodie Dickerson getting loose on the sideline. Might see some action at quarterback.
Great opportunity to give him some reps. I really pleased with what we saw out of Evan Springer tonight.
Yeah.
Great opening salvo, and showed some nice leadership, and like I said, a great distributor of the football. Liked a lot of what I saw.
Meek's 4th down pass attempt to the sideline, broken up by a couple different Saints defenders, and that's going to turn the ball over back to Bishop Dwenger. You know, to your point, Corey, Springer came in, and I think the poise under pressure is what impressed me most. He threw an accurate ball. He was able to distribute to a couple different receivers, but I really think he's just only getting started in terms of being able to distribute the football to these playmakers.
The moment certainly was not too big for him.
Right.
And in his first varsity start, that is great to see.
Yeah.
And that, you're absolutely right, Eric. That gives us a lot to anticipate throughout the course of the season as he continues to improve each and every week with more reps.
Well, and the Saints made it clear that he was the guy. I mean, there was a competition among those 4 individuals, but this was not going to be one of those situations where they try one out for a quarter and then a second quarter you get a different quarterback in there. Springer won the job, and this is, essentially his team.
Yeah, I like the positional flexibility it gives them with Sam Campbell and Colin Vance as well. And then you've still got Bodie, who I think is very capable, and it might be his job a year from now.
Sure. It's going to be a pitch on first down around the near side, and running that time Corbin Till up to about the 40-yard line.
Bodie Dickerson being a junior, this might be his opportunity to, and you never know what throughout the course of the season, injuries, etc.
Right.
You hope for the best, but you want to be prepared for the worst, and that's why they're getting Bodie some reps right now.
Yep. Looks like some fresh faces across the board. New guys in at receiver as well. Max Robinson, the junior, on the far side of the field. Here's Dickerson, inside handoff, and again some great blocking. Frees the runner. It's Corbin Till again, this time down to the 22-yard line on a gain of 18.
You're Corbin Till. You're a senior, and it is tough to crack the lineup at running back at Bishop Dwenger. And but when he gets in, all he does is make nice runs.
Right.
So well done, Corbin Till.
First down, handoff again. It's Till, fakes inside, goes outside, finds a hole, and gets down to the 10-yard line. Another 10-yard gain.
Now, the Wayne Generals are not only tired, but they appear to be a bit demoralized at this time. And 37-14, deep into the fourth quarter on a hot night, and the Saints are just running roughshod.
That they are. First and goal at the 10-yard line. Dickerson in the shotgun. He's going to hand it off this time again. Till makes one cut and gets stood up there just inside about the 8-yard line.
Wayne defense stiffens there. Didn't like me talking negatively about them, and up to the task on that play.
Second and goal from the 8 upcoming. Saints on top 37-14, 7:23 to go in the ball game. Dickerson in the shotgun. Again, a handoff to Till. Tries the right side. He's got the edge, and he walks into the end zone for another Bishop Dwenger touchdown.
Touchdown, Corbin Till. Nice opportunity to get some points on the board and get his name in the scorebook as a senior on opening night.
So the Saints, as they send in their PAT unit to try to put 44 on the board, they've scored 6 touchdowns tonight, 5 by the offense, 1 by the defense.
Something I want to bring up here, I don't think this was the case a year ago, but we've got punter Simon Garrett as the long snapper tonight. He's doing the snapping on the extra points.
Yeah.
You want to talk about getting your specialists some work? Well, and look at there,
well,
a bad snap.
Dickerson catches it and has to toss it towards the end zone. Incomplete.
I should have never mentioned it, Simon. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I mentioned it.
The good old Corey Kitchen jinx in full effect.
I introduce him to our audience as the long snapper who never gets his name called, and he dribbles one back.
So your score remains 43-14 with 7:11 left to go in the ball game, and we will step aside for 30 seconds. You're listening and watching Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Tippmann Group is a family-owned business that's proud to call Fort Wayne home. We build cold storage facilities all around the United States, run one of the largest cold storage companies in the nation, and lease office space in Fort Wayne, like inside the Lincoln Tower.
Hi, I'm John Tippmann, president of Tippmann Group, and our family has been part of the Bishop Dwenger family for many years. We are a proud supporter of Dwenger Athletics. Go Saints!
We are back at Wayne Stadium. The Saints scoring yet again, this time in the fourth quarter. Touchdown by senior Corbin Till, and 43-14 is your score. Saints getting set to kick this one away. So, Corey, we kind of teased this earlier, but the upcoming SAC scheduling rotation, it's going to see a new schedule for Bishop Dwenger. Things are switching around, and as we look at the schedule here starting in 2023, unfortunately for Wayne, they drew the short end of the straw, and once again, they have to start with Bishop Dwenger in week 1.
No way.
We're switching the schedule up, but some things never change.
Oh.
Kickoff return this time for the Generals through midfield, sidestepping defenders, and could he be gone? One man to beat, and he is going to take this one to the house.
Sean Collins just showed us the kind of electricity that he has as an athlete right there. The minute he had a step, it was over.
Yeah.
That guy does have legit speed, as Coach Haydock was saying in many previews that I saw earlier this summer. And, he got a step on that Saints special teams unit and was gone.
Wow. Now, granted, there might have been some backups in there for the Saints, but that play was all about Collins. He made a lot of people miss, and there were probably 3 different points where it looked like he was about to go down and just able to elude the defenders and then turn on the Jets.
I'm impressed not only with the run, but I'm impressed with his conditioning. I don't think he's come off the field tonight, offensively or defensively,
Yeah.
and to still have enough gas left in the tank to take a kickoff return all the way back with only 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter in 90-degree heat. Good for him.
Yeah. Boy, we talk about him as the motor and the heart of this team. You have to have such excellent conditioning to do what he does. He catches the ball, he runs the ball, he defends, and then, yes, on special teams, he returns. So he literally does it all for the Generals, and that kick is good. That makes your score 43-21. So we'll see that streak, as that's only the 9th time under Jason Garrett that an opponent has scored more than 14 points against the Saints.
31-24, Snyder over Northside in the fourth quarter. Update from Chambers Field.
Tight one. We'll be watching that score, and that will obviously add to the excitement heading into next week's matchup for the Saints, getting to host the Legends up at Shields Field. So I will ask you this, Corey. We look at this schedule coming up in 2023. Bishop Dwenger's got Wayne week 1, then they've got Northrop, Carroll, Northside, Southside. So they get Carroll a little bit earlier. Some other familiar faces there in the top half of the schedule. Lures in week 6, and then Homestead, Snyder back-to-back in week 7 and 8 before finishing with Concordia.
Well, Lures, Homestead, Snyder.
Yeah.
So, that's finishing a bit tougher than it has been, and as you mentioned, particularly Homestead and Snyder back-to-back with 2 physical opponents.
Yeah.
That's a tall task.
It's safe to say that the SAC will be decided in week 7 and 8.
I'm excited about the fact that they're mixing it up. There's no doubt about that. This has gotten a bit stale, quite frankly.
Kickoff handled by Henry O'Keefe. He's going to turn this one up through the middle, go down at the 32-yard line.
I really would have liked them to create if I was czar of the SAC,
yes.
I would have liked to have seen a big school and a small school division so that these teams could go out and play some non-conference opponents.
Interesting you mentioned that. That proposal was on the table. They talked about that proposal, doing just that, breaking it into 2 divisions, big school and small school. So you would have had Dwenger with Carroll, Homestead, Northrop, and Snyder in the big school section.
But this is too easy for the athletic directors. They don't have to go out and schedule anybody else.
So from what I understand, they would have needed unanimous approval to pass that, and I think they only had 1 AD vote against it. First down handoff there by Dixon goes to the 35. So, it was nearly put into effect, and I think that would have been really exciting to see, because then you only have 4 conference games, so to speak, because you can schedule some games out of division that won't count towards conference.
Yep. I would have loved that.
And then you get 5 games that can either be from the opposite division or non-conference entirely.
it's speaking from experience as a member of the Dwenger coaching staff from 2010 to 2015. We had an opportunity to play Cathedral and to play Chittard and to play Cincinnati LaSalle.
Right.
And those are some of the games that quite frankly I enjoyed the most out of my coaching experience. I mean, getting an opportunity to make some road trips, to play some opponents from other regions of the state or even out of state.
Right.
With Cincinnati LaSalle, I just think it's an opportunity to see how you stack up against some other areas of the state and of the and even out of state. So I'm a big fan of that. I'm disappointed that that's not an option.
Yeah. Dixon takes that one to the 39 on second down.
Even as playing in conference and only in conference even affects the Sagarin rating. Sagarin doesn't really have a good idea at the end of the year how we stack up against anybody because we haven't played anybody else.
And then you have scenarios where, Dwenger has to go to a team like Zionsville or Logansport and teams they played in the past. All of a sudden, they're making a 1.5 hour trip, and they've never done that.
Yeah.
That's an entirely new experience.
That's exactly right. And you have no idea how they're going to stack up from a strength of schedule standpoint because you haven't played anybody but in the city. So I think it's a disadvantage to our football programs in the state tournament, quite frankly.
Yeah. Well, it nearly passed, did not have the votes, but hopefully that is something that, will stay on the table and maybe get voted in the future. It would just be an outstanding opportunity. Even for Lures, they could go out and schedule some 2A teams and see how they stack up against the type of teams they'll face in the tournament.
No doubt about it. They had an opportunity. They scheduled Toledo Whitmer one year, and they went and played some good teams from out of state, and I just think that, and I also think it helps out programs that are trying to build themselves up from the ashes, like a Southside. If they can go out and schedule somebody that they have a chance to compete a little bit better with than some of these teams in the SAC, it helps them build a program. It's tough taking your lumps in this conference every week.
Well, and especially for those teams that you just mentioned, as we see a second and short run there, a nice effort. Oh, I'm sorry, 2nd and 11, as it'll be 3rd and long for the Saints. And some of those teams, when you talk about building a culture for a team like Wayne or Southside, part of that is allowing your players to get a chance to learn how to win, what it takes to win a football game. And when night in and night out you're playing bigger schools and schools that are just outmanning you, not only with talent on the field, but just enrollment-wise, sheer numbers.
There is not a break at any point in their season. Every single Friday they are an underdog. And that's a difficult way to build a program.
Yeah. So that's something that we'll continue to watch as we look at the SAC schedule going forward. For now, we can at least have a little measure of happiness seeing the scheduling rotation that at least provides some variation and some relief for some of these teams like Northside, who has opened with Snyder, Dwenger, and Carroll as their first 3 weeks ever since this current schedule came into effect. And by the way, they're 1-14 against those in those first 3 weeks in that stretch of scheduling.
Yeah, difficult.
So 3:36 to go in the fourth quarter here. Dickerson and company facing a 3rd and 10 from their own 43-yard line. Rolls out to the right and finds his man. It is caught on the far sideline. That's going to be a Bishop Dwenger first down.
87, Keegan McMahon.
That's
on the catch. Nicely done, Keegan. Good catch over there on the sideline. Also had Bodie had Cole Carey wide open on the fade route and just completely didn't see him.
Yeah.
Just missed him.
Well, those are the type of things that you watch the tape and again, like you said, a teaching moment.
Like 46 in there on the carry that time. Finnegan Sacks. Finnegan Sacks. That's a name, a new name to the running back stable.
Fun name.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, we're wholesale substitutions for the Saints offense here.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of bright white jerseys in the game.
2nd and 6. Dickerson takes a high snap. He'll hand it off.
Finnegan Sacks again.
Sacks follows his blockers nicely. He is close to the first down marker, the 33-yard line.
Got a new quarterback entering, 14. What do we have there? Is that Vinny Craw?
Yeah, it is.
Vincent Craw in the game. Good to see. Left-hander, I believe.
He'll take the snap on 3rd and short.
Southpaw probably won't get the opportunity to throw it, so I'll tell you he's left-handed.
That's important information that we needed to pass along.
Southpaw quarterback. After my own heart, being a left-hander myself. Oh, that's tough duty.
He
Came
saw
out
one
after
play
one
and
snap, and it was blown dead. He still is not officially in the varsity in the varsity scorebook yet. That's kind of tough. Come on, coach.
Oh.
13 in the game now at quarterback. That would be Owen Zimmerman, who's a defensive back, quarterback, wide receiver. What's an R? R and an H. I don't know what. Holder. I got the holder. What's the R for?
Oh, boy.
It must be receiver. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they had so many positions.
Look at him go.
Wow. Takes a licking. Oh, and then a late hit. He was down, lost the ball. They mark him down at the 35-yard line. So how about that?
Oh, Vincent Craw back in the game on 4th down. He may get an official snap here.
All right.
I'm hoping for him. Oh, timeout, Wayne. Maybe.
May have to ask Coach Garrett about that R position.
Yeah.
See, it already says wide receiver, so the R can't be that.
We're stumped. I mean, I know a lot about football, at least I claim to. But defensive back, quarterback, wide receiver, holder, and R. First of all, I've never seen 5 positions listed for a player before. And I need some help with the R.
He's a jack of all trades. That's what he is.
Clearly.
4th and a long 2. It is going to be Traw taking the snap. He's going to hand off, and that one's going for a loss that time.
Number 30, that would be Dominic Yanko.
Yeah.
Making his first appearance. We've doubled numbers here, by the way. If you're hear us call 30 all night long as Adam Lee, we've got a youngster in also with the number 30, and Dominic Yanko, who shares numbers here. That 116 players on the roster, you're going to have to share some numbers somewhere.
Yeah, especially with no single digits, right?
Okay, that's a great point as well, which I know is tradition around these parts. I sort of like them. I hate to say that.
You like the tradition or the single digits?
No, I sort of like the single digits, but I know it'll never happen here.
It won't.
And that's fine, but I kind of like them.
Well, if you say one thing about the Bishop Dwenger football program, it's that it is tradition-rich.
No question.
And
I probably just had like half of BD Nation turn off the broadcast.
Most likely. And
if they're still listening at 1:18 left.
Coach Garrett is an excellent steward of the traditions. He is very much in tune with them and wants to continue all the good mojo they've had over the years. So let's take a quick timeout here, our last timeout before the final buzzer. With 1:18 to go, the Saints on top 43-21. You're listening to Bishop Dwenger football on BD Media Productions.
Can First Source help me get more space?
We can help with that.
Does First Source have banking that can keep up with me?
This is open around the clock.
Business is booming. Can you help me expand?
No problem.
Can First Source help me turn this into my own business?
We're here for you. No matter what kind of banking you need, First Source Bank can help.
Welcome back to Wayne Stadium. 1:18 left on the clock. And the Saints defense is out there.
I think we can safely say this would be the junior varsity defense at this point.
Yeah.
Getting some reps here that wouldn't otherwise.
Here's a snap for Wayne. Meek in at quarterback, trying to escape the pressure and barely gets that one away. Some nice pressure there applied by the Saints. Trying to get a number on that individual. Looked like 36. Robert Pelkington.
All right.
Applying the pressure and causing that incomplete pass.
Pelkington playing defensive end. That's he's playing outside linebacker, but we'll call it defensive end. I mean, that seems fitting. Chris Pelkington, I presume, is related to this young Mr. Pelkington. Chris was one of the best defensive ends in the history of the city, is from what Russ Isaacs has told me in the past. He said the best one he ever coached against.
Wow.
High praise.
This time handoff, and not much space there. Looked like Nelson out to the 40-yard line.
Saints send in a line change. That's
with 1 minute to go.
Hockey term. We just sent in nine new jerseys. Do I hear 10?
Well, they'll get at least one more snap off. So these guys, they did a pretty outstanding job getting in as many jerseys as they did tonight.
I mentioned Coach Schwarzkopf earlier. I remember also in games like this, he would often, on the sidelines, he'd say, "Take a knee if you've been in the game."
Well, and here we have a strong run, and we're going to end the game. Oh, no, it is stopped, and an outstanding effort there. It looked like he was off to the races.
That's 13.
That's
our guy, Owen Zimmerman, from his defensive back position. I don't think that was the R position he's playing.
No.
I think he's playing defensive back right now.
Well, can't R be returner? It's got to be returner.
It's got to be returner. All right, I'll give you that. Okay. That escaped me at the time.
But I think he used all of his combined skills put together to run.
All five, well, not the quarterback
layout
position, but I'm with you. 10 seconds remaining.
Meek with the handoff, and the Generals will score. That is Lamarian Nelson with 5 seconds left, finding the end zone.
They're going to make this final score somewhat respectable by the time it's done, but
right.
But I think we all know that that the game's been over for quite some time.
Yeah. Sure, the Saints backup / JV squad would have loved a measure of redemption and keeping the Generals out of the end zone.
Back in the day, a certain defensive coordinator that I coached with would not have been happy right now about the defense statistics, giving up 27 or 28
Well, how about that? It looked like they got a hand on the PAT, so.
Yeah, this is screwing up the defensive stats for the rest of the season right out of the gate.
Well, it might allow the Saints to fool a few people.
Yeah.
27 points. We don't have to worry about the Saints.
Gave up 27.
We could put some points on them. When all indications from, the 1/2 plus of action we saw from the starting defense was we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, no question about it. And we'll talk about that a little bit on the wrap-up about what we saw tonight. But I'm with you 110%. They just plug and play and carry on.
Yep. So 5 seconds left on the clock. As long as this kickoff is put in the field of play, this will likely be the last play of the ball game. And as expected, the crowd beginning to file out here at Wayne Stadium. Turned out to be a pretty nice night here, broadcasting up at the top of the stadium.
I like our vantage point here.
Yeah.
Now, I may change my tune in 2 or 3 months from now, but for right now.
Next week, of course, being back in the friendly confines of the Bishop Dwenger press box.
And our air-conditioned press
Yes.
box.
We'll try to get a final on that Snyder Northside game before we wrap things up, or at least an update. That'll preview a little bit for next week what we can expect. Here's the return by the Saints across the 30-yard line, 40-yard line, 45, and a nice way to end things out for the Saints. Up to midfield on the return, and that will do it for the ball game. Zeros on the clock. Your final score: Bishop Dwenger 43, and the Wayne Generals 27 here from Wayne Stadium. We will step aside one last time, be back to wrap things up here on BD Media Productions.
Evans Toyota is locally owned and proudly supports Bishop Dwenger. Let's go Saints!
We are back at Wayne Stadium as the Saints have come away with the victory 43-27 over the Wayne Generals. Bishop Dwenger moves to 1-0 and the Wayne Generals fall to 0-1. And of course we mentioned with this current scheduling of the Saints starting the season with Wayne, Northside, and Southside. In that format, they improved to 16-0 in the first 3 weeks of the season since that scheduling was put into effect in 2016.
Not bad.
Yeah. So a strong showing by the Saints. Of course, as you mentioned, Corey, the final score will make the game indicate like it was a little bit closer than it was. In reality, we saw the Saints excel in all three facets tonight. Of course, being the first game of the season, there are some things that they'll have to clean up, and the coaching staff will be sure to point those out in the coming days. But I saw a lot of promise out of this young Saints squad.
Yeah, really liked what I saw from the we'll start up front with the Saints offensive line, the newly revamped offensive line. And, yeah, very, very pleased with their ability to hold their own up there and create a push and protect Evan Springer in the passing game. And then I also liked the poise with which Evan played at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Thought he did a great job of managing the game, and that's really all they need to ask him to do. He doesn't have to do anything more than that. Protect the football and distribute it, and he did that tonight. And defensively, really impressed with just the ability to plug and play and create havoc. Again, we talked about the fact that it's a speed defense, and they showed that tonight. We'll see how they handle the bigger offensive lines that can potentially push them around. But so far so good in that regard. And then, special teams were very good. A couple things to clean up there, quite honestly, which I didn't really expect out of them. They're normally so good. But yeah, first night, we'll give them a little bit of a pass for that. But otherwise, a strong showing out of the gate, and looks like they're going to have to improve in order to play what appears to be a pretty good Northside program next week.
Yeah, Northside last we saw was giving Snyder everything they could handle. I think, and we're about to hear the final.
Snyder 34, Northside 32.
Oh wow, 34-32. Snyder escapes with victory. So
wow. And have an update. 2 minutes left out at Carroll. Lures still up 38-31, 2 minutes left in that one. So that's a couple of the tightest contests in the SAC tonight.
Well, I will say that Carroll Lures game lived up to its billing.
Yes. And so did Snyder Northside.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about a wide open SAC based on those games tonight. So, going to be a competitive year. Looking forward to it. And, so good start for the Saints.
And I think Jason Garrett and the coaching staff can feel pretty confident that, week in and week out, they can compete with anyone in this conference. The question marks coming in, as you said, the offensive line, the quarterback, I think we answered. We learned a lot about both of those questions tonight. This is not the most formidable defense that the Saints will face this year. But getting to start out and get your feet wet against Wayne, and accomplishing what they were able to accomplish, especially in the efficient manner that they did, Bishop Dwanger's got to feel pretty good about that.
Yep, it appears they got out of here injury-free. They got a lot of experience for a lot of young guys. I mean, I think they played like all 116 kids on the roster tonight. That's a little bit far-fetched.
It definitely
but
appeared so.
Felt that way. And, we listed some names we've never heard before. So that's great. Got some guys some experience, got out of here healthy, got a win, and on to week 2.
On to week 2. So we look forward to bringing that broadcast to you. That's going to be next week at 7 p.m., of course. We'll go on air at 6:50. And up at Shields Field, Bishop Dwenger Saints will be hosting the Northside Legends, and a hungry and angry Northside Legends team, I might add, after losing a nail-biter by 2 points to Snyder tonight. They are going to want to take out some aggression on the Saints, no doubt.
No doubt about it, and good football team, it appears. So looking forward to seeing them.
All right, before we sign off, let's check in with Kevin Thompson on some final stats for tonight. Kevin, what do you have?
Just a quick recap of the second half. Actually, it was 20-20 in that second half.
Yeah.
Score-wise.
No kidding, hey.
So offense-wise, it was Dwenger had 21 rushing plays for 136 yards. Wayne had 18 for 90, but that last run by Nelson kind of padded that a little bit with 50-yard rush. But total offense, Dwenger 52 plays for 398 yards, and Wayne had 48 total plays for 201 yards.
Outstanding job, stats.
There you go. Thank you, Kevin. So that's going to do it for us. Again, we look forward to bringing you next week's broadcast. Again, 7 p.m. kickoff, 6:50 airtime up at Shields Field for Bishop Dwenger hosting the Northside Legends in Week 2 action. So that's going to do it for us. Big thank you to Parker Knoll getting us online and running the show tonight. On camera, we had Jackie Vasquez and Anthony Segedy. Special thanks to Greg Jones as well, helping us out, and our statistician, Kevin Thompson. For Corey Kitchen, I'm Eric Pete, thanking you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. We hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. May God bless you. You're watching Bishop Dwenger Football.